less than 5 minutes, and I'll start the main stream then. Just got everything set up. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Those of you that are new, and we will be taking your calls. We'll be taking your calls. I left the house this morning and left half of my stuff at home. I can't freaking believe it. So that's not good. Let's see. All right. So I'm just sitting down for a few minutes and I'll stand when we do the show. I'd like to sit down during the show, but I never sit down, so I'm afraid it'll throw me off. Plus the arms on this chair. I don't like the arms. I'm not crazy about arms on the chair. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I should sit down. Maybe it'd be more relaxing for me. Maybe I'll try to sit down. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. We will be live on the air in seconds.
And heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the true oldies channel. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for sick.
I forgot my extra mics. I forgot all of my commercial copy from my live commercials. I knew when I left the house today, my backpack was too light. And I'm like, I know I left something behind. I got my computer.
Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. Remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family.
And now I found out what it is.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Mike, with the weight loss number, you can just put it on the screen when you tell me to do the live spot. Oh. For the number for the weight loss, you just put on the screen when you put
That's your traffic brought to you by BBKC. Live in the paddock this Saturday, November 8th, it's the National Toby Keith Tribute Show. Get ready for all the hits, all the energy, and all the red, white, and blue fun of a real Toby concert. Your ticket includes a mouth-watering 3-course barbecue dinner. Now that's a show and a meal worth singing about. And the party keeps rolling on November 14th. It's Start Me Out, the ultimate Rolling Stones tribute. Don't miss Football Sundays in the paddock. Just $25 to
I don't need the commercial copy because I do it all off the top of my head, but the phone numbers, I don't have all the phone numbers memorized for all the live commercials I got to do. And I got everything but one.
Security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-drawer window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and keypad access, so you can check in anytime from anywhere. You can't put a price on peace of mind. So
About 1 minute.
833-283-5050 right now. At Sloan's Home Security, we believe every family deserves to feel safe, because protecting what matters most shouldn't be complicated or expensive. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today. Sloan's Home Security, protecting families nationwide. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today, or visit slomans.com.
All right, here we go.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome one and all to the program. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. We got a lot to talk about. Did you guys catch President Trump's speech yesterday, the Miami speech? Pretty amazing. I'm going to play some of that coming up. And I'm going to talk about some things here at the beginning that some of you that are MAGA may not like, but it's a message that has to be said. You know, this election of Mamdani, Zohan Mamdani, you know, this is all Obama's doing, what's going on here. I want to talk about this. You know, he came out yesterday with his transition team, all socialist women, and he's asking for donations, right? He's asking for donations. You know, need money, send me money. And I'm listening to more than one conservative commentator and people online saying, oh, Zohan's broke. He spent all the money on the election. He's broke. Zohan is whatever broke is, he's the complete opposite. He's loaded. And I don't mean his personal wealth. He and his wife are both multimillionaires, and both of their parents are multimillionaires. Her family's richer than his family. I'm not talking about their personal wealth. Mamdani has massive funding from democratic socialist organizations, communist organizations, Soros. There's a picture of him with Soros's son right after he won. He came and took a picture with him. And of course, the Muslim world is pouring all kinds of money into Zohan, and they do it through these other organizations. It's like a campaign money laundering operation. They have no shortage of money. The reason that they're asking for donations is so that these useful idiots, the New York City voters, so that these useful idiots will donate money to make them feel like they have an investment in Zohan. This is the people's movement. That's all it is. They're not funding the transition team by the loose change that some idiot liberal Democrats in New York that voted for this idiot find in their couch. Okay, it's to make them feel as if they're part of this movement. And I'm watching a lot of the commentary going on over the last 24 hours. And you know, yesterday we spent a lot of time talking about Zohan Mamdani's victory speech, which we got to see the real Mamdani, except his real accent. He was still doing the American accent, but we heard his racism. And a lot of things have come out, including something I'm going to share that John Solomon's Just the News broke, and we're going to get into all of this. But this Democrat socialist thing, that's just a cover, all right? Zohan Mamdani is not a democratic socialist, and he's not a communist, and he's certainly not a Democrat. Okay? What he is a radical revolutionary who has wiggled his way into the Democratic Party through this democratic socialist label. He is a radical revolutionary whose sole mission is to bring about the collapse of the United States as we know it. That's it. And no one wants to talk about this elephant in the room, but it is what it is. And that's it. So I'm hearing all these commentators talk about him and give an analysis like he's a regular politician. We have not had a radical revolutionary leading one of the major parties in this country before. It's not happened. This isn't even a third party thing. And I'll tell you how this happened. It's all Barack Obama. This is all Barack Obama. You know, Bernie Sanders, who's one of the biggest useful idiots these anti-American people have ever met. And Bernie Sanders is so full of himself, he doesn't realize he's a useful idiot. Okay? I bet you Bernie Sanders eats with his mouth open. Do you think Bernie Sanders has good table manners or eats with his mouth open? He's a slob. But Bernie Sanders, he's too stupid and arrogant and narcissistic to have any self-awareness as to what I'm sharing. But Obama did a number of things in his 8 years as president to set the stage to collapse the United States. And one of them was Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders ran in the Democrat primary when Hillary Clinton was running for the nomination to go up against Trump. And he's not a Democrat. He's a democratic socialist. And people forget now, because it's been a while, but there was a big controversy. Bernie Sanders had left the Democrat Party, became a democratic socialist, and was running for president as a Democrat in the Democrat primaries. And when it was coming up for the first debates, the Democrat primary debates, there was a big debate in the news, the pundits, the party, everybody in the country. Should the Democrats allow Bernie Sanders to take part in their debates? He's not a Democrat. And they did. Okay? And that was not a screw up. That was part of the plan that Obama's a part of. To get people like Mamdani in office. Okay? Radical revolutionaries, not Democrats, not Democrat socialists, not communist, anti-American, mostly foreign influence, to bring about the fall of the United States. That's what all this is about. And once they established this idiot Bernie Sanders as a, and he was bought off. Remember, he got he endorsed Hillary. He wouldn't endorse Hillary. He was out of the race. He wasn't gonna win. Then Obama had a private meeting with him at the White House. He came out and endorsed Hillary Clinton. Next thing you know, Bernie Sanders got 5 houses. I don't know. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. But so when Obama, because it was Obama's decision, he was the head of the party at the time. When Obama allowed Bernie Sanders as a Democrat socialist to be in the Democrat presidential debate, that opened the door to Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and Zohan Mamdani, okay, to be in the Democrat Party from another party. I mean, think about it. That would be like in the Republican primary. We don't let libertarians in our party, do we? No, that's a whole other party. Well, they did. And it was not an accident. It wasn't stupidity. Obama doesn't care about the Democrat Party. He cares about the downfall of the United States. The other thing Obama did, if you go back to Obama's presidency, what were his major accomplishments? Right? That are on the books, that are in the history books. Like if you go back, what Obamacare, and being the first black president, and the first black leader of a major nation. He was the first black person to lead a major nation, first black president of the United States, and Obamacare. Okay, but what did he do in those 8 years other than Obamacare? On the face of it, it looks like nothing. We used to see him with his feet up on his desk. There was nothing on it. He didn't work and all this stuff. Well, that's not true. He was, the Obama administration, as crazy as this sounds, the Obama administration for 8 years was as busy as the Trump administration is right now. They just did everything behind the scenes. One of the things they did was bring an unknown number of millions of Muslims to the country so that they could take over Dearborn and New York City and Minnesota, okay? And if you remember, one of President Trump's first actions in his first term was the Muslim ban, and he ran on that. Obama was bringing nonstop Muslims into the country by we don't know how many millions. And has now where, Obama left office years ago, almost a decade ago. Right? So it's a long time. So now these people he brought over have infiltrated their way into local politics, state politics, and even the squad. So Zohan Mamdani is not a Democrat socialist, not even a communist. He is a radical revolutionary whose mission, which by the way is a mission of Obama and others, but whose mission is to bring down the United States, to bring about the collapse of the United States of America. Okay, so MAGA, this victory. Well, let me take our first break. And after the first break, I'll get into some more things. I want to tell you guys, it is Christmas shopping season now. There's no better place to do your Christmas shopping than MyPillow.com. There's huge specials. You can use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, on all the specials at MyPillow.com. I just saw a new one. This is an amazing special. In fact, I'm going to get a couple of these as Christmas gifts. I'm going to tell my wife today. The MyPillow body pillow. Steve Kane has one of these. It's a body pillow. It's a MyPillow with that same padded fill inside that is the length of the body. It's an amazing pillow. It's normally $117.97. With our promo code KANE at checkout, its lowest price ever, just $29.98. But you can use our promo code KANE on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones I'm talking about, but that body pillow just came out, and I saw, I was like, whoa, that's huge. The MyPillow, the standard MyPillow that started at all, $14.98 with our promo code KANE. There's a limit of 10 on those, and let me tell you, my wife and I, we give MyPillows out as gifts regularly. Everyone loves MyPillows, and for those of you who receive MyPillows from me, MyPillow doesn't send me a bunch of free stuff that I'm regifting, guys. I buy it happily because the prices are so low. $14.98, limit 10. Heck, I think we'll buy 10 of them. That's a lot of gifts right there with our promo code KANE at checkout at MyPillow.com. All right, we'll take our first break of this day and be right back. Yeah, guys. I had my Monday meeting. I'm not sure if I told you guys. And Mike Lindell, and MyPillow, they are sticking with us for the sponsorship of the expansion of the program. But you got to keep up your support for them to continue to do that. Hopefully, after the first of the year, I'll get a permanent confirmation on it. But you got go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, and do your Christmas shopping, guys, because I want to make that a permanent sponsorship so I can continue to do the early show and everything else we're doing. I want to continue with this. Now, if you guys want to call in, you're welcome to. The number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. I'm going to continue to talk about this, but I'm going to get into another aspect of what's going on here that has to be discussed, and then I'll get into some of the sound bites as the show goes on. So if you're on hold, stand by. Whether you agree or disagree with my take about Mamdani is not a Democrat, socialist, communist, or Democrat. He's a radical revolutionary looking to bring down the United States. That's the way it is. And it's a little more than that. I just had to break. I'll talk more about that and then get into the next aspect of it. Because there's a lot of craziness going on. And the next part, some of you might not like what I'm going to say in the next part, but it's got to be said. Gotta be sad. I gotta queue up one thing. There we go.
Slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now
It's true.
and any lab
It's
test
true.
now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor could order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca at any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca at any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All righty. We're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's Steve Kane Show. If you're on hold, stand by. So let me finish up. There's so much going on here. And I did something which I'm a little embarrassed to share. I'm not sure if I'm going to share it or not. I did something really stupid. Really stupid. And I don't know why I did it. Well, I know why I did it, but I did something really stupid. I took some advice. Well, I did something that Tucker Carlson does. I have never. Well, I'm not going to tell you guys right now. Maybe I will later. My wife will be very mad at me, so maybe I should tell her. I don't know. I'll see. I did something really stupid today. Really stupid. I did something today that was one of the dumbest things I've done since I was a teenager. I did something that teenagers would do, and I did it, and I'm an idiot. I'm a total, complete idiot. And I don't know if I want to share it with you. It's so stupid. But then when I tell it, maybe it'll be anticlimactic, so maybe I should just keep you guys wondering. Anyway, if you're on hold, stand by. Let me get back to this. Okay, so I was explaining in the first segment that Zohan Mamdani is not a Democrat socialist, or a communist. He is a radical revolutionary who has the goal, and that is to bring about the collapse of the United States. That's true. And do that through the Islamification of our most important city, New York City. That's it. And you know, the United States, we're the most diverse country there is. Americans, we love diversity. We're the most diverse country in the world. I know the left like to say we're racist and all. There's no country that has diversity like ours. You know, you may say Canada, right? Well, really? When have they had a black prime minister or a senior member of their party? Who's the most senior African Canadian you've ever heard of? You know, no country in the world is as diverse and has a love of diversity like the United States. And the enemies of our country use that against us. Our love of diversity, they use it against us. And because of political correctness, what I'm sharing with you, most people won't talk about because they don't want to, you know, it's the elephant in the room. They're using our diversity against us. I've seen this happen many times in my life. So that's Mamdani. So MAGA, I have no doubt in my mind that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by the deep state never-Trumpers. I believe that the people that were behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk were the people that were behind the assassination attempts of President Trump in Butler and at the golf course here in Palm Beach. And were behind the Martin Luther King assassination and both Kennedys. No doubt in my mind. And we're seeing fate right now. See, this is the part that some of my MAGA friends may take issue with. We're seeing phase 2 of that operation. I knew the importance of Charlie Kirk before he was killed, before he was assassinated. I talked about this a lot, about how he made being conservative cool and turned young people into MAGA, into Republicans, which was unheard of. I remember not that many years ago, if you saw Charlie Kirk at a college, they were screaming all kinds of stupid things. In the months before his assassination, you'd see him at a college. Most of them are wearing MAGA hats. What he did was fantastical. But what I did not know is what an important role he played at the White House. Okay? That's what I did not know. The role that he played at the White House. He's responsible for Bobby Kennedy being in the cabinet and others. I did not realize that he was a senior advisor to President Trump on pretty much everything. I did not realize that. So they assassinated Charlie Kirk, these deep state never-Trumpers, to bring down the MAGA movement. Because they saw that with the youth going to MAGA, that was it. They're lost. It's done. The border's been shut down. They can't bring in their illegals anymore for the replacement. So, and now what do we have is phase 2. Now, I've talked about this from time to time, but I haven't brought it, even earlier this week, but I haven't brought it all up at once. And phase 2 is, it's an operation to bring down MAGA. First, they assassinated Charlie Kirk. Now they're out to destroy not just Turning Point USA, but to discredit the movement, splinter the movement, divide the movement, the MAGA movement. And they're doing this on a number of fronts. Now, some people are just stupid and don't know that they're being played, but some of them know what they're doing. Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are part of a deep state plot. I have no doubt in my mind. They might both be CIA. But Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson are very well aware of what it is they're doing. Okay? They are very well aware. And I was talking earlier this week, there was a story in the New York Times that pissed me off to the point where I really didn't want to go on the air because I don't like to be on the air angry. Because then you can't, you lose control, right? You don't want to be that angry. The New York, and I posted all this on my X, Brian Craig Show on X. If you scroll back a couple days, you can see it. The New York Times has declared Nick Fuentes the replacement for Charlie Kirk with the MAGA youth movement. And they put this image of him, this drawing / photograph that looks nothing like him. He's a dork. He has the same voice as Mark Levin. He wears off-the-rack suits that don't fit him. That looks like he borrowed him from his dead grandpa's closet or something. But they put this picture of him in the New York Times to make him look like a good-looking, handsome, sexy model. This is, and of course, this is part of the deep state propaganda machine, the New York Times, Washington Post, et cetera, and all that, right? And Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are working together to destroy the MAGA movement, splinter the youth MAGA people, and also destroy Turning Point USA, which is the most important conservative activist organization to ever exist. It's a big psyop. All this is a big psyop. Now, there's a bunch of idiots and stupid people like Brett Cooper and Candace Owens who are and Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin, who are too arrogant or too stupid or too narcissistic to understand that they're part of this big psyop. You can't get it by me. I know everything. That's right. I said it. That's my Mark Levin imitation, by the way. But anyway, there's a lot of useful idiots that are helping them along the way. And they're having impact. Okay, let me take our break. And, let me talk about George Colony, our real estate guy. Actually, he's going to be calling in today in the 8 o'clock hour, George Colony. And I was talking to him yesterday, and I want you guys to get to know him. He's amazing. You know, he's been in real estate in South Florida my whole life. Tom Laporta introduced me to George Colony. And when I first met George Colony, I said, I know your name. And then as I talked to him, I realized I've been seeing his name all over town as I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, because his name's been all over the place on real estate signs all over town forever. So I know who he is. He has over 6 decades of experience in real estate. He knows real estate. And I've been talking a lot about what makes him different. You know, Steve Kane's thinking of buying a new house. And I was talking about that this yesterday, and we were talking about George Colony, and what we were saying was what you've heard me talk about this week, that the financial decision when it comes to buying or selling your home is the biggest financial decision most people will ever make. And you rely on your real estate agent, right? And who's your real estate agent? What background do they have to make such a important financial decision? For you, your family, it may even be multi-generational when it comes to your home, right? Someone that was working at some retail store, or was a waiter or a waitress last year, and they took a real estate course online, and now they're giving you financial advice? That's crazy. George Colony's been involved in over $5 billion. That's right, $5 billion with a B dollars in real estate transactions, both buying and selling. He handles every type of real estate transaction. The residential, commercial, tenant representation. If you have property that you rent, he can help you with the renters, all kinds of things, whatever it involves. But he's not just a real estate agent, he's a businessman. He's also founded an 8-figure business. Founded. So he knows not just real estate, but he understands money. And when I was talking to him about real estate and buying and selling real estate, he was talking about things and aspects some of which I didn't understand, and I'm a pretty sharp guy when it comes to such things, so I thought, and a lot of things I'd not even considered before. So if you're buying or selling, give him a call. If you're thinking of moving to Florida, give him a call. Or if you're renting, whether it's residential or commercial, give him a call. His number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. You can call or text 954-801-7320. We'll be right back. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I've got more to share where I'm at, because I'm not done yet, and then I'll go to the phones. But I want to hear your response to everything I'm laying out here. I'm laying out a lot. And I would certainly think you guys have opinions about this stuff, because I've laid out quite a bit, I must say. If you're new, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I kind of like sitting down. I should sit down more on the air. I stand up too much. I got a long day.
Spot something.
A very long, busy day. Those of you that are Patreon supporters, I did a live stream on Patreon. Some of you were in there live right before I started today on the air. But it's up there for everyone to see who's a Patreon supporter. I asked you guys an important question in the beginning, so I'm looking. I'll look at your responses to that, because it's an important. I got an important decision to make for today. The stupid thing I did, I'm like embarrassed to tell you guys what I did.
That's always here. Welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your x-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have to bring for me to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Call Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation at 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at MyPillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years.
All right, I'm not done. Let me take a call or two. If you'd like to call in, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. This is Mike once again from Coldwater, Michigan. How?
All right, Mike in Michigan. What's up?
Hey, I would like your professional opinion on a theory that I have in regards to your opening dialogue this morning with Zohan. And it'll take me about 25, 30 seconds to explain this. You and I believe your listening audience and most of conservatives, MAGA movement people understand and know that Zohan's promises are absolutely, undeniably impossible to fulfill financially for New Yorkers. Being backed by some terrorist groups too. Megami's money. If you go to a website called meforum.org, they actually list some of the terrorist groups that were linked to bankrolling his agenda and his election. It's a real eye-opener. But my theory is this. One of the main things that were spoken of by people who were being asked why they were voting for Zohan was the rent, freezing the rent. Is it not plausible that if Democrats get power once again in the White House and in the House and the Senate, that they reopen the border, that Muslim countries do the same thing what they've done to London and the United Kingdom, will get an
Well, that's longer than 30 seconds. There's going to be a mass migration of Muslims to New York. It's just going to happen. See, a lot of people are saying, well, why did Zohan blow his cover and get so angry? Down with Whitey, down with America. It's because he figures by the next election, there's going to be so many Muslims there. He won't, that's what they want to hear, right? So he's not worried about these people. These are the people that elected him this time are just useful idiots. He's gonna repopulate the city.
Exactly, and that's one of the. And where would you start to actually be able to do that? The rent control, the freeze, these people who are poverty stricken. I watched a documentary where a 3-bedroom apartment in the Bronx is $4,400 a month.
Listen. Things are expensive. I talk about this a lot. My wife and I, we bought our house over 20 years ago, and it's a small house because I'm very frugal and responsible, right? I could go out and sell my house tomorrow and buy I was talking to Joe Thomas about this the other day. We were talking about some financial things and with annuities. And, I could sell my house and go buy a big old house and everything else. I could do it. I make enough money, but I'm smart. But I can't afford to live in my own neighborhood now. My house is 1,500 square feet. And that's with the garage, okay? So it's about 1,200 square feet of living space. It's a tiny house, right? Just me and my wife. We lived there over 20 years. But the houses in my neighborhood, I could not afford to move into my neighborhood now. So, it's gone up that much. I mean, there's one guy on my street that has 2 cars that cost more together than I paid for the house, right? That's how things have gone up. So, this is the thing. If you can't afford to live in New York, you move somewhere else. You go and live where you can afford. This idea, if I'll tell you, Steve Kane, in the 80s or early 90s, got hired to do mornings at WABC Radio in New York, and he did that. He was paid more money than he was making in Miami. But it didn't last because the more money he had, the taxes, right? You got state income tax, city income tax, because he was on the radio, had to pay union dues. He was bringing home less money and living in this more expensive city. So he came back here. You understand? This idea that you should be subsidized to live in Manhattan is insanity to me. Before my daughter, she moved back from Los Angeles to Florida, and the reason she did is because it was too expensive. And this is one thing I learned about Los Angeles that really surprised me. Even millionaires, celebrities rent in Los Angeles. They can't afford. They can't afford to buy. And she realized she'd never be able to own a home, so she gave it. So this idea that the government should subsidize because you're living in an expensive area. I mean, what? I don't understand that mentality.
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not actually for that at all.
No, I know you're not. I'm talking about what these Democrats are advocating for. You live in one of the most expensive cities, in the world, New York City, and you think that should be subsidized? Move to a city you can afford to live in.
And isn't it not plausible then if Zohan is his intent would be to collapse financially New York, that landlords would lose their properties because they can't afford?
It's not to collapse New York. He wants to collapse America. He wants to Islamify New York and begin the collapse of America. This is what's happening. We're being conquered. We're being colonized. The United States is being colonized. They are doing to us what the Europeans did to the Indians. We are being colonized. Dearborn, New York, California. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed big time. When I get calls from Los Angeles, you got all these guys with Mexican accents. That's now, they call that the Los Angelino accent. That's a Los Angeles accent. When I was growing up, the Los Angeles accent was, oh my God, what I mean? The Valley Girls, or Spicoli, right? Now it's a Mexican accent. So the United States is being colonized. And that's what's going on here.
Yeah, I was born in Pasadena. I was born and raised in California until high school, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I firmly believe, with your dialogue, when your opening dialogue this morning, I firmly believe you're 100% spot on, Brian. And
yeah, and I'm going to take more calls before I get to the next part. It's going to piss off some of our MAGA brothers and sisters, but this MAGA divide that Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and Brett Cooper and others are a part of, if we don't get control of this, we're in trouble. And I'm going to talk about that in a bit. All right, appreciate the call.
You bet, Brian. Thanks.
All right. Sometimes when I get like a normal, intelligent person, it's hard for me to have a conversation with them. I'm used to talking to idiots. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, like this. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How about that blue wave?
I missed it. What blue wave?
You're watching it happen.
You mean all these Democrats that won in, oh, he hung up. All these Democrats that won in Democrat districts? That's not, a wave is when you overtake places held by the other party. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. I'm Chris from
Hey, Chris.
Great show this morning. And, there's so much that, gets under my skin, of course, obviously, as you said earlier, about the diversity here in this country. I mean, it's a good thing. Sometimes it's not such a good thing. I didn't like it from 40 years ago of the infiltration I saw in the military, and I felt like people who were not citizens should not be, in the Marine Corps or any other branch of service. Certainly not in leadership. And we've seen that on several occasions where they showed where their loyalty was and killed fellow servicemen.
Yeah, Nadal Hassan. And remember that guy? I can't remember if it was Iraq or Afghanistan, that Muslim sergeant that fragged his unit. And then Bergdahl.
Yeah, 100%. And then as a society, and I used to always say that in the military, I said, the one downfall America does have is that it's not unusual for anyone else in the world to live here. Now, you're allowed to stand out like a sore thumb in certain other countries, and are a lot of times not even welcome. But, so I mean, they come in our government like these U.S. representatives representing districts. They get voting blocks. Thank you, Obama. They load them up in certain areas, and now they can get representatives there, like I said, as mayor. But you know what? I want to see them bring up separation of church and state. You know how they misuse that. But let's see as they start bullying us with this, Islamophobe and everything else they come up with. And, I wish that was me they were asking. When's the last time you been to a mosque? I'm not a Muslim.
Never. I've never been to a mosque, and you know what? I never will be.
Very badly. I would love to have been asked that, especially that Dearborn guy.
So, I mean, after 9/11, since when do you have a litmus test that you have to have been to a mosque? My response would be, you mean that place where the 19 hijackers used to go? No, I've not been to one of those.
Exactly. There were sanctuaries, and the Dearborn mayor telling this guy, hey, you're not welcome and you're an Islamophobe. Oh, yeah, why shouldn't I be an Islamophobe? Because a lot of terror and hate has been done in the name of Islam. So why?
Well, in New York City, a lot of people are suffering from trauma from 9/11 still, the Islamic terrorist attack of 9/11.
Absolutely. And so it's ridiculous. We get this politically correct stuff and, pins and needles, and you have our politicians up there, especially under the Obama regime, threatening us, not be selective or
that's right.
Hold grudges.
Well, listen, Chris, I got to run for a break, but I appreciate the call.
Have a good one.
All right, take care. Let me talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Tom Laporta, who of course covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. It's important to point out that he is also a general contractor. This is really an amazing thing. When it comes to roof work, you got your homeowner's insurance or your property insurance on commercial property. And what I found is the insurance company, you know what they like to do? Not pay you. They want you to pay them, but they don't want to pay you. And that can be problematic. I don't know, many years ago, before we knew Tom Laporta, we had a hurricane. I had some roof damage. It was a mess. It took me over a year to get my roof taken care of with the insurance company. They just wouldn't do it. I had to hire a public adjuster. You know what I had to do? I had the public adjuster, I finally got the money, but I had to give them 20% of it. 20% of it. And so that means 20% of the cost of the roof replacement I had to come out of my pocket for. And, it was a lot. I had to come up with it. That's not insurance. Insurance is supposed to cover the damage. But I had to give 20% to the adjuster. Well, see, Tom Laporta isn't just a roofer. He's a contractor. And under Florida law, he's able to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the replacement or the repair of your roof. So you may not need to do what I did if you got a difficult insurance company, and that's hire a public adjuster. Some people, it's even worse. They have to hire an attorney. Oh, my goodness. You know how much that must cost? Woo-wee. But you may be able to avoid that with Tom Laporta on your side, dealing directly with your insurance company. Here's his number, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. This rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. You can call or text 954-604-4602. We'll be right back.
I'm in a real
estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You can call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my 2 daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind, they were so nice, they assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything, and I ended up with this wonderful trust for my 2 daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them, and it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my 2 daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my 2 daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
We'll be back shortly,
Steve
guys.
Kane. The time for open enrollment is here. And as if Medicare wasn't confusing enough last year, there are major changes to be made this year. Some major carriers are pulling out of Medicare altogether. Do what we do in the Kane household. Call Debbie and I Will Advisors. She'll review your Medicare plan for free. Debbie's schedule is filling up fast, but if you mention my name, Steve Kane, she'll put you right to the front of the line. Call Debbie right now at 954-753-8080. That's 954 area code 753-8080. Be sure to mention that Steve Kane sent you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's Steve Kane Show. Okay, so let me finish up with my thesis, I guess, today. Oh my goodness. I don't want to sound like Mark Levin or Savage. Okay, so I was, just to sum up, I've been talking about what's going on politically and what led to Zohan, what he's all about. But there's another thing going on, and this is in the MAGA movement. I was talking earlier about this operation that the Never Trumper Deep State took to assassinate Charlie Kirk. I have no doubt in my mind that that political assassination of Charlie Kirk was done by the Deep State Never Trumpers, just like Trump and Butler and at the golf course. And I talked to you about that. Their plan for President Trump was to kill him in Butler. And then they were going to nominate Nikki Haley, warmonger, as our nominee, with Ron DeSantis as her running mate. They were in second and third place in the primaries. That's exactly what their plan was. But thankfully they failed. And then they tried it again and failed again. So what they've told themselves is, okay, he's in his second term, that's going to be it, he's going to have to retire, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, the decision that they made in Butler and at the golf course was made after they were unsuccessful in putting him in prison. They thought with those arrests that would turn us against him. It failed. I've gone over that a lot, so I don't want to get sidetracked too much. But while we knew, and when I say we, I don't mean just me, I mean all of us, we knew the importance of Charlie Kirk and what he did with the youth vote. But I did not know, and I don't think most of you knew either, how important he was as a senior advisor to the President of the United States on most everything, including top cabinet picks. Charlie Kirk and Don Jr. were responsible for JD being vice president and many cabinet members. This is a fact. And they assassinated Charlie Kirk to destroy his movement, and they think that will bring down MAGA. And what we have now, we have two guys that I mentioned earlier, Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, who are part of a deep state psyop to destroy the MAGA movement by destroying Turning Point. And they're publicly, what they're attempting to do is have the entire youth movement that Charlie Kirk sacrificed his life for, Turning Point, identified as some neo-Nazi movement with this idiot Nick Fuentes. And Tucker's helping him. No doubt in my mind, Tucker's CIA. And Nick Fuentes, well, Tucker used to talk about he thought he was a Fed. How would he know these things about my dad if he wasn't a Fed? Now he's like, are you a Fed? No. Me either. On that interview. Give me a break. So those guys are coordinating it. However, we have some useful idiots out there who are either sick in the mind or just not informed enough to know what's going on. Brett Cooper I'll mention first. I'm not going to play the clip of her. Brett Cooper, who's a Fox News contributor now, she was defending Tucker over an argument between him and Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz calling him out for what he is, an anti-Semite Nazi and all this stuff. And Brett Cooper, she's an actress. She's in her early 20s. I got nothing against her. She's just not informed. When she became famous at the Daily Wire, she was doing commentary with pre-written scripts that were written for her by her producer that is now hosting her old show, right? That Reagan girl. And now that she's speaking with her own thoughts and minds, if she gets off celebrity gossip, she just doesn't have enough understanding of the issues. Okay, so I'm not attacking her. She just doesn't know enough about what's going on. No, she doesn't have enough life experience to understand what she's defending and who she's attacking. Candace Owens is mentally ill. No doubt about it. She is mentally ill. And she's helping. I'm going to play two clips of Candace Owens from this week. Hold on, let me pull up the first one. This is her talking about Zionism.
Donnie won, okay, that's kind of the big story. The Republican establishment they have a lot of excuses regarding that win. Excuses are ranging.
Okay, hold on a second. I don't have it queued up on the right thing. Okay, here we go. Let me pull it up. Okay, yeah, this is her talking yesterday about Mondani's win.
Donnie won, okay, that's kind of the big story. The Republican establishment they have a lot of excuses regarding that win. Excuses are ranging from because there was too much infighting on the conservative side, to this country has been taken over by jihadists. I mean, you name it, they have an excuse. I think the correct answer is because the establishment is just in complete denial, left and right. What is happening is a populist movement. And what is happening is that we are really sick of Zionism. We are really sick of lies. In that same vein, in case you missed it.
Okay, and Zionism, that's her way of saying she's sick of Jews. Okay. Candace Owens, okay, so Nick Fuentes and Tucker are spreading this anti-Semitism through the youth, right? Oh, we're controlled by Israel, and which it's the other way around. We control Israel, by the way. We control Israel, not Israel controlling us, but, you know, there's this wave of anti-Semitism that they're promoting. And obviously, President Trump is a strong supporter and has close ties with Israel, although Netanyahu's pretty pissed at him because he didn't want this peace deal and everything else. But they're identifying as Trump being controlled by the Jews to get this anti-Semitic wave and division inside of our party. And then this is a next clip of Candace Owens. Here she is talking about, this is yesterday as well, she's talking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk again.
Stages of grief. The one they don't tell you about is when you get beyond all the stages, you've accepted that this person is not coming back, and then you just want to punch people in the face for lying about everything. I'm there. Everything they are telling us is crazy town, okay? I wake up and I learn something new, and I get angry. I'm so angry, I'm taking it out on the team. I'm like, no! This does not make any sense. I can't explain to you why it doesn't make sense because I went through Turning Point USA, but every little micro change is sending me in this moment. It's a very personal thing. I know how Turning Point operates their events. Things that the world does not know I have been privy to. And that's why I said, you know what, let's actually scour through my emails. I was like, Savannah, let's just go back so that we can share these things with the world, that you guys can join me in my frustration of wanting to punch somebody, anybody in the face, okay? So yesterday, we had mentioned to you that the timeline is absolutely absurd, okay? The absolute absurdity of Turning Point, as we learned, having received a request from Charlie, from UVU, for Charlie to speak on their campus in mid-July. Okay, just a few weeks before he dies. In mid-July, they get a request. Can Charlie speak on campus? And then they immediately approve that request and they schedule it as his first stop some 6 weeks later. That has never happened in the history of my having done campus tours.
Now, she hasn't done much with Turning Point in many years, so her knowledge of Turning Point is old and dated, but anyway.
It was a tour stop. And you literally get these requests months before you start sorting through them. I mean, I'm going to show you the real proof so that you can grasp how atypical the setup is, okay? Charlie and I went on tour in April of 2024 together. We actually also split doing certain locations because they want to do as many locations all over the United States as possible. And April of 2024 is when our campus events began. I'm now going to show you an email of when we started planning that, okay? So keep in mind, back of your mind, this request for UVU came in July and they approved it for September. For my April 2024 event, here is when we started planning. Here's an email, okay?
Okay, I got to fast forward a little bit because we're short on time.
In mid-July, it drives me insane. It just screams at me that this was an inside job, okay? This was always a circumstance. This was not a special thing that happened. They would always say they would get requests in spring that they couldn't.
Okay, so running short on time for the top of the hour. So she's now suggesting that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was an inside job that Turning Point itself was involved in. Now, I didn't look at the clock before I started this, so after the top of the hour, I'll finish up and share my thoughts on what's going on with this lunatic, insane, crazy woman, and I do mean that literally. She's mentally ill. Candace Owens when we get back. Our number is 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be right back.
WQAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward at 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the true oldies channel. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
And it's in the evening on Friday, another slight chance of thunderstorms in the low 75 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On Blades Road between Butts Road and St. Andrews Boulevard, it's a rollover crash blocking the roadway causing delays. Greenview Shores Boulevard north of South Shore Boulevard, emergency vehicle still on the scene of an earlier crash. By Biloxi Road westbound of Military Trail, right lane closed due to construction. Spots opening on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 150 keyword West Palm traffic on Rogers.
Those of you that are Patreon support, I've been looking at your answers. I'm getting all yeses. I'm asked a question of the Patreon supporters, which is, it may not seem like an important question, but it is to me. So if you're a Patreon supporter, look at the video I posted this morning from a live stream I did early today before the show. And give me your response on what you think I should do. Everyone has said yes so far. I should do what I was asking you about.
factors which carry a lot of weight when dealing with insurance companies. We recently had a property management company call us to evaluate 2 multi-story condo buildings. Each were in aging condition. We performed a full evaluation, built a case with focused repairs and maintenance that the roofs had up to 5 years left. The insurance companies granted the associations additional time. Homeowners, condo, and HOA associations, give me a call at 954-604-4602.
Oh, the number? Oh, yeah, I saw it. Great. Yeah, thanks.
You with your insurance company. That number again is 954-604-4602, or find us at laportaroofing.com.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for one of those big labs. That's why I have any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs all of my around. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and the prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only 2 advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with Coral Springs. Any lab test now with Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. It's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard.
All right, here we go.
East side of State Road 7, 441. Any lab test now at Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Bramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now at Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now at Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
All righty. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Celebrating 49 years on the radio. Our number is 888-465-2631. So I spent the first hour, and I'll finish up with it before I move on to other things, of what's going on here with the MAGA movement. And this really is a warning. My Mom Donnie's a big part of it. So let me just finish up without recapping. Sorry if you guys missed the end of the last hour. Got to go back and listen. I don't want to go through it again. But Candace Owens' mental illness is aiding and abetting Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, okay? In a big, big way, because she reaches so many people. And we need J.D. Vance to take over Turning Point USA. That we just do. Turning Point USA is going to go away because it's being attacked each minute of each day. And it's really leaderless right now. I know Erica Kirk's in charge, but she's dealing with grieving right now, and she's got the little kids and everything else. I mean, she can't take on these evildoers she's up against. And Candace Owens, what happens with her? I don't know what kind of mental condition she has, but when she has conflict and she's angry at people, she creates these delusions. As an example, before she went to work for the Daily Wire, she was a very vocal supporter of Israel. She obviously had problems with Ben Shapiro, and she's channeled that into becoming an anti-Semite. Now Jews are responsible for everything that's bad. She feels slighted by Turning Point. She thinks she should be the face of Turning Point. And if she never would have left, or didn't lose her mind after the Daily Wire and go down these weird rabbit holes of anti-Semitism when she left the Daily Wire, she very well may be the front person for Turning Point USA now. But you can't go around. Once you get doing anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial is like doing porn. You can't go back. Once you do porn, once you Holocaust deny, that's it. You're done, right? So she's not, and she feels owed by them. So because she's not where she thinks she should be, which is the front person, the face of Turning Point, she's out to destroy them. So there's a big wave of anti-Semitism going on. And the forces trying to bring down MAGA, they can't break into Trump's house and anything. They're doing other things. And this wave of anti-Semitism, they're using to bring down the MAGA movement and divide the MAGA movement. And it's having some negative impact. Israel has made a big mistake. The two worst people, in my opinion, that they could hire, or whatever the arrangement is, to be kind of like PR people for Israel, are Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin. Neither of them have likable personalities. Ben Shapiro is not a likable personality, in my opinion. Maybe you guys think and I'm not saying, they're both never Trumpers. That's number one. So I do have a distrust of both of them, because in the first campaign, they were two of the most vocal never Trumpers. And I even heard Ben Shapiro say on more than one occasion that Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels. So these are never Trumpers. But they're not nice people. They're not likable personalities. And for them to be the face of supporting Israel in this country helps spread anti-Semitism. I know that sounds crazy. But they're so unlikable, both of them. Mark Levin. Now, I'm not. Mark Levin, I agree with on a lot of things. Ben Shapiro, I agree with on some things, in particular Israel. But neither of them are likable people, and they're both too arrogant to understand this. But they're helping spread anti-Semitism because they're so unlikable. People want to just go to the opposite because they despise them so much. I know that sounds crazy. How can Jews spread anti-Semitism? It's because of the climate the country is in now with it. You get two unlikable guys, and that's what happens. And, a lot of times we had pretty much eradicated anti-Semitism in this country, and it's back big, and it's making its way in our MAGA movement through the help of all the people that I've mentioned today. And, in Florida, historically, people have not liked New Yorkers in Florida. It used to be really bad. Really bad. I remember when I was young, New Yorkers, it's a little different now. It's not as bad as it used to be. But New Yorkers, because most New Yorkers are from here now, but they still have some connection. They're like second, third generation Floridians now. Their parents or grandparents might be from New York, but they still call themselves New York. But those first New Yorkers, when I was a kid, New Yorkers, all they talked about is how much better everything was in New York. I can remember, I'm not kidding you. This is not an exaggeration. I remember having orange juice, and there was somebody there from New York, and they were telling us the orange juice was better in New York. How the hell is that possible? It's Florida orange juice. You're in Florida, and whatever you're drinking in New York is Florida orange. Oh, no, it's better. Okay, jerk. And a lot of people think that all New Yorkers are Jews and all Jews are New Yorkers. I know a lot of people think that. And historically in Florida, one of the biggest causes of anti-Semitism was New Yorkers, who weren't even Jews, because people would think New Yorkers are rude or do crazy things on the road, like ambulance chasing through the. You know about ambulance chasing, Mike? No, okay, yeah, because you're Floridian, but I bet your parents do. Okay, that's when you get behind an ambulance going down the road so you can follow it through the red lights. Okay, that's what ambulance chasing is, not the lawyer thing. It's another thing. And people thought all New Yorkers were Jews, so that was a cause. Now, as crazy as this sounds and as difficult as this is to understand, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin are actually unknowingly spreading anti-Semitism because they're both so unlikable, especially Ben Shapiro. Look at what happened with Candace Owens. She is the leading anti-Semitic voice on the planet right now. The things she says make Father Coughlin look like, Captain Kangaroo. And her anti-Semitism was created by her dislike of Ben Shapiro. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, my name is Scott. I'm sorry to call you again, but you're so provocative.
Once a day. Well, thank you. It's once a day, Scott. Once a day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, Texas. What's up?
Hey, man. Good morning. Hey, I'm sitting up there. I've listened to you every once in a while. I'm a man.
Every once in a while? You call me every day. What do you mean every once in a while? You said every once. Didn't I tell you, Mike? Everybody always claims they don't listen. All right, go ahead.
Okay, because I listen to your show because you're funny. Okay, here's the deal. Why are you so worried about New York and new mayor of New York? What about Florida, bro? What about Florida? What about your home state? Leave New York. New York will be all right. Leave it alone.
Yeah. New York is you are aware that New York is part of the United States.
Yes, I do.
You call me dummy again, I'm going to hang up on you. You want to do it? Okay, so you did it so you can show you're a real man. Thank you very much. It's time for a break. We'll be right back. I knew he'd do it if I told him he couldn't do it.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio, reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
Margaritaville at Sea's biggest Black Friday sale is bigger and better at sea. Score 60% off cruises. Bring the crew for free on select sailings. And plan your escape with up to 50% off our all-new drinks and Wi-Fi bundle. Experience our award-winning cruises while visiting worthy destinations, including Key West, the Bahamas, St. Thomas, and more. Book now at margaritavillatSea.com.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of the can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of St. Paul River.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location.
Hey, it's Brian.
offering
Hold on.
great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
This is Steve Kane. The time for open enrollment is here. And if Medicare wasn't confusing enough last year, there are major changes to be made this year. Some major carriers are pulling out of Medicare altogether. Do what we do in the Kane household. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors. She'll review your Medicare plan for free. Debbie's schedule is filling up fast, but if you mention my name, Steve Kane, she'll put you right to the front of the line. Call Debbie right now at 954-753-8080. That's 954 area code 753-8080. Be sure to mention that Steve Kane sent you.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. We have Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot on the line. Hey, Ian. Oh, I got him. Here we go. Hey, Ian, you're on the air. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so we got Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot's on the line with us. We our 10th annual Steve Kane, Brian Craig MAGA Cruise is coming up in March, and we have a couple of really deadlines that we got to announce today. Let's start first, Ian, with the people that have already booked on the cruise.
Stay tuned because we almost have our new round of shore excursions finalized. They're going to be awesome. I'm sure you saw what I sent you the other day, Brian.
Uh-huh.
La Plata, yeah, it's going to be awesome. But final payment is due. Please start giving me a shout, making final, so we can finalize all our events, and I know how much event space I'm going to need.
Yes.
If we get more, and nothing more.
Yeah. So that's one. So if you've already made your reservations, final payments are due soon. Call in and take care of that. And you also want to be first on the shore excursions because some of these are limited numbers of people allowed, some of them. And we've got some out of this world shore excursions. The other one is this. Okay, we've been telling you guys for months and months and months that we have 2019 pricing. That is still in effect, but will disappear right quick because as soon as the Thanksgiving, Black Friday, holiday specials begin to be advertised by the cruise line, we lose our 2019 pricing. So if you want to, if people want to get that 2019 pricing, Ian, they got to call you like now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the cruise line will only let me hold on to those pricing for
for
almost 2 years. We have a couple of new people who joined yesterday, but we're running out of space.
Yeah. And this pricing, I mean, keep in mind, this is a cruise that leaves in March 2026, and you are paying 2019 prices. That is not an exaggeration. And when you call Ian, he'll give you the exact price. The price varies on so many different factors, so that's why we don't give it out on the air. I don't want people to think we're hiding the price. It's just it varies on so many different factors. It's not a one price for every cabin. Things are so different, right, Ian?
And our group rates always include classic drinks, which includes coffee, tea, sodas, alcohol, and Starlink internet.
Yeah, and the port charges and such.
Exactly.
This is one thing because when Ian and I when we first met a decade ago, I guess it's been longer than that, Ian. Yeah, I told you, one thing I didn't want to do is advertise our cruises and give some price, and then when they call you and all the fees get added, all of a sudden it's 4 times as, you know what I'm talking about, those lost leaders they do? And exactly, then you find out it's $2,099 or something for a week. So the price that Ian quotes you includes everything that he said, including the taxes and the port charges. And that's important. So give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call. This is going to be our largest group yet. We are going to have the most incredible time. We have activities planned at our shore stops as well as on board that you will remember for the rest of your lives. In particular, on board, we're going to do things in a different way, I think, than we've ever done, Ian.
Have to keep it new and exciting.
That makes it difficult when we do a cruise a year, but we always come up with ways. All right, so give Ian a call. Ian, I left all of my phone numbers at home, and I don't have everyone's memorized. If I give out your number, I'll give out your cell phone, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to have you give out your office number, and if you get Ian's voicemail, leave your name and your number. He will call you back. What's your number, Ian?
244-5779.
All right, 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779 for Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Join us, guys. These cruises are so much fun, and I look forward to spending a week with you all. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon.
Take care, Brian.
All right, okay, let's go. Back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, Mr. Wellington, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Wellington?
Yeah, it sucks about man Donnie and all of that, but you got to remember that's where Renee lives. That's where Jay in Jersey, he lives over there. Those people all think alike for the most part when you go there, And I feel sorry for the conservatives that are stuck there and got to live through it. But what we're watching is kind of the pain that comes with MAGA and being a part of this. You got to struggle through the pain and let people sort of see how the adverse side really is. They really wanted that guy Jay, whatever the last name of that guy in New Jersey was.
Jay, the guy that kicked the dog and dreams of killing MAGA people, Jay Jones.
Jay Jones, that's who it was. Yes, that those kind of people they promote that, and then they look at us about Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson with their words. And this guy with his actual actions and his actual text messages and his actual personal feelings, they really honestly don't care. They protect him with flying colors because most of these people are violent and ignorant. So when it comes down to it, you know, when the city life that they've lived for all this time, and they've never struggled and never had pain, now that they're struggling and there's pain, they're looking for any other option, and it's further left. It's not going to be the center of...
Well, you know, what's got me, you know, I'm so angry at so many things because Steve Kane said the other day, he said Tucker Carlson's overrated. I agree with that. You know, we all got excited when he got Tucker Carlson's overrated. Tucker Carlson is involved in an effort to bring down the MAGA movement. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
It's not even that I would think that he would try something like that. Or
It's happening. We're seeing it.
Well, his roots are from CNN. You have to remember, if you want to look back far enough, this guy was a CNN guy.
And MSNBC. He was on MSNBC too.
Right. He was a liberal pundit for most of the time. And literally, you know, I you know, everybody calls people turncoats, but if she's the most...
Well, I have no doubt he's CIA, and I'll tell you, what I found out a few months ago about his dad shocked me. I knew his dad was CIA, but I played this on the air months ago. I saw an interview with Tucker Carlson's dad. He was being interviewed on C-SPAN by Brian Lamb, who's long dead, but he was like the guy that founded C-SPAN. And I was shocked. Tucker Carlson's dad wasn't a known CIA guy at the time. That wasn't known till he was dead. But he was the guy that arranged Monica Lewinsky's book deal. And that shocked me. That's a classic psyop against the Clintons. Right? And so and that's what Tucker's doing now. He's in the psyop business.
You don't know where these people really truly lie at. There's a bunch of grifters on top of it, not just in the regular media, but in the social media and the podcast sphere. You know, so these grifters like Candace Owens, I knew she was a grifter from the beginning. I never really followed her or entrusted anything that she put out there because I knew she was a grifter. She's a good, smart, fast-talking woman that knows how to put a show together. She's entertaining, but other than that...
I don't agree with her. I don't agree with you on the grifter thing. I think she's mentally ill. I don't think she's that smart. You know, I'll give you an example. Actors. You look at some of these actors, like George Clooney, right? And... they're so charismatic and smart, and then you see them talk on their own, and they're morons. I remember when, I've seen this happen with actors a few times, but this was the unbelievable one. What was the name of the actor from Fast and Furious that was killed in a car accident? Walker. Yeah, Walker, right. Right after he died, Paul Walker, yeah. Brian was his character's name. Right after he died, I saw Vin Diesel speaking to a crowd of people out on the street, and he was talking about Paul Walker. He said word for word some of his lines from the Fast and Furious movies. I couldn't believe it because he's such an idiot. I've seen actors do that in interviews too, use lines out of, they talk on their own, and then Candace Owens is like an actress. She's very well spoken. She's good looking and charismatic. But when she's off script that some smart person has written, the Jews are responsible for everything bad in the world. And I think they're responsible for high cholesterol too, probably, according to her. You know what I mean?
Well, the real reason why I called in was to try to, just kind of get your opinion on where you think we're going to go for the next election. And I really believe that Trump needs to get on board with something that kind of sticks, because this whole situation with Trump.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing with Tony is that he's walking.
I'm not seeing that. The thing with I know the thing with Trump in these little elections, Winsome Sears was a never Trumper. She said terrible things about Trump, so he didn't campaign for her or anyone. So these elections were in blue states and cities. So there was no wave. Democrats beat Democrats to continue to hold Democrat spots. Winsome Sears said some nasty things about Trump over the last year. And so, and the government workers all live in Northern Virginia. That was hopeless. President Trump didn't have a single campaign rally for a single person running this time. In the midterms, we're going to have 6 months of rallies again.
Right. I know he's going to do that, but I mean, what I mean is that the people that had to sit home for all this government shutdown, they did this on purpose. They wanted them to feel pain. They wanted them to feel suffering, and that's why they allowed the government to be shut down. All those northern states, New Jersey, New York, D.C., all these places in Virginia, all these places is where those Democrats live at, and all
That's
the
right.
workers live at.
That's right.
Live off of it. What they live off of is us. And what they did was make us all feel pain, but particularly them.
That's right.
These government workers are only going to blame Trump and the Republicans, and that's why it was such a shock to not see somebody win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reality is that the shift is going further left in those places because most of the Republicans and the people that were middle of the road, they ran away. And they structure it to where it's all no independents are allowed to vote in these contests.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, listen, I gotta run, but you made some good points. All right, take care. Now, I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret. Oh man, here we have today is November 6th. You've still got time. I lost 25 pounds in the first 3 weeks with coastal weight loss secret. So give them a call. No matter where you're located in the United States, they can help you lose weight and keep it. I first met them in January, so it's been almost a year. We're coming up on a year soon. It will be soon. I haven't gained 1 ounce back. And the maintaining has been effortless because I didn't have big lifestyle changes, right? I didn't exercise. I ate food I would normally eat. I didn't take any pills. I didn't take any of these injections that make people these injections and things, people look sick when they take those, in my opinion. Did I say I didn't do any exercise? So I didn't do any lifestyle changes. I didn't starve myself. If I would have had major lifestyle changes, maybe I would have gained the weight back. But because it wasn't required with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, keeping the weight off has been completely without effort. And I haven't gained an ounce back. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation right now. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. We'll be right back.
Making more.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Be right back. I'll go back to the phones when we get back.
Soccer action kicking off at 7:30. It's all happening at Beyond Bankcard Field. Get your tickets now at FTLUTD.com. For more info, call 888-330-7182.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings.
I'm not used to sitting down while I'm on the air.
Bank account, savings, and a house, and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything, and I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel, finding him.
Coming back after this. If you're on hold, stand by.
That my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I want to talk, of course, about life imaging, FLA. I'm so excited, finding out that I have no plaque, no blockage, and no cancer. Isn't that awesome? It's awesome. It feels so good. When you get older, you just assume, But it is November, and November is all about men's health. Life Imaging FLA is here to help you with that. Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. While you're there, make sure to ask about the full body cancer screening so you get that ultimate peace of mind. And that's what I had, the full body. I had the heart scan and the full body cancer screening. At Life Imaging FLA, it's all about proactive healthcare, right? Knowing before you get that heart attack, right? They're saving lives every day through early detection. According to the National Cancer Institute, over 4.75 million cancer deaths have been prevented through early detection and screening. This November, take control of your health, okay? Go to see them at Life Imaging FLA. They have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. And start living proactively. From your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 on your cell phone, pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Jacob.
Yes. All right, Jacob. What's up?
Hi. So, I supported Trump. I am a Trump supporter. But I'm just having a hard time getting over this hump this last 9 months, because this is not the last 9 months that I expected.
What's your beef with Trump? What's your beef?
Well, first of all, Trump, the first thing I feel with Trump is the economy. I was hoping to get a better, bullish, some type of rising economy.
What are you talking about? The market's going through the roof. All the financial markets are going through the roof. Gold over $4,000. He stopped the inflation. Gas prices are down. Maybe you just need to work a little harder. Maybe you're blaming him for your financial situation.
My job, you don't know my working.
Well, I know in a booming economy, you're whining like a girl about your finances. The stock market's booming.
Booming. It does show that Trump has made from 50 million to over 7.
Oh yeah. You see, this is another one of those seminar callers. Oh, you have it. Yeah.
Money by commercials and so forth, but that doesn't mean that everybody is having the same experience as doing Trump.
Do you know how? If you follow me, what I have done my entire life. Okay, when it comes to money, is not what you've done. Okay? And by the way, what you do, you sit, I have talked to thousands of people on the phone over the years, and I can profile a caller pretty good. Yeah, you're one of the many thousands, okay? And what I've done my entire life is different than you. Okay? What you're doing is you're sitting around with your hand out whining. When I need let me finish, and then you can retort, okay? When something comes up, and this has been my entire life, when something comes up and I need a little bit more money, I don't sit around and, where's the president gonna give me some more of that money? I go out and get a second job, or I work longer at the job I have, or like I do now. You know, if you guys, well, maybe you need to work a little harder at one of them.
Sir, before you jump into the attack, I voted for Trump. I have the right to critique if I feel he's not doing something right.
No. But you're complaining that that the Trump organization has made money since he's been president.
In two different words, I am holding someone that I voted for accountable.
So what do you do for a living?
I have 3 jobs.
Okay, now you have. Before it was 2, now it's 3. What are your 3 jobs?
You said I didn't have.
This sounds like that skit on In Living Color. Remember that skit on In Living Color?
What are you talking about?
Okay, what do you do for a living? Start with your. Sure, you're talking about Trump's responsible for you financially. What's your primary job? What's your primary job?
I'm an investment broker.
And you're a what?
Before she don't wash, I'm an investment broker.
Okay, so then you know more about the economy. Hold on, slow down. I don't get to the second job yet. You're an investment broker, so you know more about the economy than I do. And if you're an investment broker, you know that the markets are booming.
Sir, if that's the case, then you should ask me if I know more.
I'm not going to ask you because that would be a violent act. I might ask.
And that is my job. I'm an investor.
Okay, so tell me what you're brokering.
Business. If you have a business fund, if you have a business and you need finance funds, I may be able to help you. But here's the problem. I am getting a lot of people more than often telling me that they are struggling. Entrepreneurs are struggling.
Well, because you're in New York.
Not even the farmers. I had a guy the other day called LC. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't be saying the business thing. That's not the point. I had a farmer the other day. He lost 18. It's a big farm. He lost 18 out of his 40 employees due to the ICE situation. He has no place him. He is struggling.
Well, first of all, President Trump. Excuse me. President Trump has told ICE not to deport farm workers, to do others first. So if he lost farm workers, they left on his own. There's still. So what's your second job?
I work at the Statue of Liberty as a supervisor. So I'm a sales. Like I train the guys, the sales rep. That's like a side. I do that on the weekend. It's just a passion.
That's cool. And your third job?
I also do day trading. Now
okay. So you've got hold on a second. You've got 3 jobs. One of them's a hobby, you said. Okay. The other 2 involve the financial markets. Maybe you're just not good at your job. I don't know how you could be in the financial markets and not be doing well.
I was doing day trading 6 months ago, and I do an investment broker.
How's that day trading doing for you?
I started 6 months ago.
I didn't ask how long ago you started. How much have you lost money, or made? Are you in the profit?
Right now, I'm in.
For the whole. So you're ahead.
Sir, I hear your point of trying to find positive and negative, which is fine.
No. What I'm saying is you're. I didn't say you didn't have the right. We're having a conversation, but this is what I'm telling you. Okay, President Trump is not responsible for your financial situation.
The same president that ran on making my financial situation better.
Maybe you are spending too much money. Maybe you should go through your iPhone and see how many apps you're paying for, how many streaming services you're paying for.
Getting those votes, getting into office, and then using $300 million to build a house next to the White House compared to helping us without my.
I find it hard to believe you're a Trump guy if you're complaining about private donations to build the ballroom.
Done. He didn't.
First of all, the ballroom is being funded by private donations from billionaires, right? Okay, so what's excuse me. What's sad about this, Mr. Investment Broker? The construction workers that are doing that job are making money. The construction workers that are building the ballroom are getting paid. The billionaires aren't building it.
Talk about construction workers, they're struggling. Small, independent
okay, there will be construction workers are working right now on that ballroom. But maybe but this is what you don't understand. This is what you don't. No, it's not high-end contractors. The guys that are doing the digging of the hole, you know. This is the thing. Donald Trump is not responsible for your financial situation. You are. You're spending. The economy's doing well. You're spending more than you're making.
So the economy is doing well. So
yes.
What I'm seeing in the grocery stores, when the guy literally told me he used to buy a pack. I had this conversation with him. A pack of it was a cake that I like to buy. It's $2.50. He said he used to buy a pack for $18 a box. He said it's now $40 or $38, I think it was. An extra $20. That affects me.
Yeah.
Your perspective, I just work harder.
The shoes I'm wearing. I give you an example. I'm wearing. Okay, hold on a second. I'm wearing Vans right now. I wear Vans pretty much all the time, right? Most of the time I'm wearing Vans. Do you know how much I used to pay for Vans? I used to pay $12 for them. You know how much I pay for them now? No, hold on. I used to pay $12 for my Vans. Do you know how much I pay for them now?
I just got the last part.
Okay, I said I used to pay $12 for a pair of Vans. Do you know how much I pay for them now? Same shoes.
Proof question. When is Vans $12? 20?
Well, like 1987. So now I pay $50 for them. The same shoes, by the way. The same shoes. Prices over the course of time. I'm sure you have a friend who used to pay something for something that was less. Things go up, man.
And that, let's see how far you would have got. Guys, when I get into office, just know things are going to go up.
Don't worry. You're in New York. You've got Zohan Mamdani. He's going to give you all your free crap. You're going to get all your free crap from Zohan. Don't worry.
3 jobs, and now I need a 4th one.
No. What you need is to go through your expenses. Are you married?
I am not. I have a child.
Okay. Go. You pay your daughter what?
Give my mother. I give the mother of my child money to take care of my daughter.
Now I get it. You got 2 households to pay for. Are you divorced or you just don't live with the baby mama?
Well, she's not my baby mother. She's the mother of my child.
But you don't live with her. You give her money? Do you live together?
No, number 2, supporting my child is not the same as having 2 households.
But do you live together? Okay, so you're paying her money. Let me tell you something. If I got divorced, if I was not living with my wife and was split from my wife, the mother of my child, I would be a financial wreck too. Well, that doesn't mean, but when you make life choices, like leaving your wife and daughter or not marrying the mother, and you're paying for 2 households, well, hey. If I had to pay for 2 households, I'd be struggling too. How is it Trump's fault that you didn't stay with your baby mama?
Now, this becomes about...
Oh, now he's laughing. I want to know, how is it... Explain to me how it's Trump's fault that you live in a separate home than the mother of your child.
Saying this. I might regret saying this, but here's the truth. Because I live outside the household, it may be cheaper.
Live outside the household?
Yeah.
That's a nice way of saying. Are you divorced?
No, I'm not.
You were never married?
No, we weren't married.
Do you live alone? Or are you shacking up with another woman?
No.
Okay, so you have two household expenses. You have the house that the mother of your child and child live in, or children, two children, and then you have your house. If I had to do that, I'd be struggling too. I live with the mother of my child. We're married.
The struggle.
Well, how is it President Trump's responsibility that? By the way, do you have two children? Do you have two children with the same woman or two different women?
I have one child. Hit me up.
Okay, how is it Trump's fault that you impregnated a woman that you don't live with, that you live apart from, and you got to pay for two houses?
Is that how about me and you figure out, is there a place for us to get better? Because
well, yeah, there is a place. Don't knock up women that you're not married to and have to pay for two households. Oh my goodness. Gee whiz. That's Trump's fault. Let me tell you about Dr. Philip Appleton. If you're in pain, go see Dr. Appleton. You know, his laser wave pain treatment, the robotic laser, it actually repairs the damage in your body that's causing you the pain. That's why the 7 times that he's rid me of pain, the pain has never returned, because he fixed it. Whether it was the shoulder injury, the arthritis, my knee pain that I suffered from for 30 years from a car accident, he repaired the damage that it was causing me the pain. And that's why the pain is not returned. Go see Dr. Appleton. The consultation is free. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation. And by the way, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. You don't need an appointment, and it's a free consultation with the doc. Let him tell you what the robotic laser wave pain treatment can do for you. We've had listeners travel from all over the United States to see Dr. Appleton. It works. It's 100% painless. You don't even feel it when it's happening. There's no shots, no injections, no surgery, no downtime. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back.
Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
On the line, we have Gina. She's a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. Gina, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing great, thanks. So you went and met with Joe Thomas about annuities. Can you tell me about your experience? Oh my goodness. What do you guys think about that guy? I mean, he's... I knew there was something going on with that guy. Oh my goodness. How is it Trump's fault that he's got to pay for two houses? How's that Trump's fault? He thought Trump was going to make it possible. Why is he, I mean, give me a break. Oh my goodness. If I left my wife and I had to pay for my house plus her house, I'd be broke too, all right? I'd be eating peanut butter and crackers. I'd be broke. 561-743-0999 and online, JupiterJoe.com. All right, Gina, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades.
I knew something didn't compute with that guy.
Time to buy or sell real estate. To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You can call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Margaritaville at Sea's biggest Black Friday sale is bigger and better at sea. Score 60% off cruises. Bring the crew for free on select sailings. And plan your escape with up to 50% off our all-new drinks and Wi-Fi bundle. Experience our award-winning cruises while visiting awe-worthy destinations, including Key West, Bahamas, St. Thomas, and more. Book now at margaritavilleatsea.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now, the Steve show is on the air.
All right. Do you know that at your oldies we have an on-the-spot traffic reporter, Al Knight, our weekend guy. He just sent me a text. Turnpike backed up eastbound. This doesn't make. I can't read that. That road doesn't go east. Okay. Al Knight. He texted me this. If you're listening, give me an update. Turnpike backed up east on Glades. I guess that means if you're driving, you get off the turnpike, you can go east. So maybe he means Glades is backed up right off the turnpike. Okay. I should, well, now you know why I don't do traffic. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Where are we going to go? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on? Yeah. Yes, you're on the air. Hey, Richie.
This is Richie. I got to say something to you, and I hope you let me speak this morning.
Oh, my goodness. Enough of this letting me. You're like the third guy to do that today. This is going to take. Yeah, okay.
I don't think it helps it matters when you attack somebody the way you just attacked the guy. I'm going to explain to you why, okay? I know the stock market is up. I know the economy, President Trump is doing the best possible job he can do. The fact of the matter is the prices in the supermarkets, except for eggs, and the meat is out of sight. You can't, everything combined. And I know the inflation is down at 2%, which is very low, but the prices,
Richie, okay, first of all, okay, slow down, Richie. First of all, I don't let you talk. I gave you the one and only golden ticket, okay? I start the show online 30 minutes to an hour early every day. I do an online pre-show, and I told Richie when he calls me on the pre-show, he can call back a second time on the radio show. Nobody else has that privilege except you. But, okay. So now that I've softened you up, you're going to get really pissed at me. Your beef is not with the price of beef, which is high, by the way. It's that you, left your first wife too, so you kind of relate to that guy. Now, the thing about steak and beef, I know beef prices are high, and President Trump's talked about this, but I know that you know this. When you and I were kids, steak was a luxury item. Now it's, and people have gotten prior to, I don't know when this changed, but it used to be that steak was something that families would have once a month, if that, okay? And it became like ground chuck in price at some point. I don't know where, so it is high now. I get that, but come on. You're talking, how's caviar prices?
Listen, I'm not blaming Trump for this. Here's the deal, man. You got to open your eyes, too. I mean, right now, and I look at everything, and he's doing the best he can. There's no question about it. I don't think anybody could do a better job than him. But if you take a look at the prices of trucks, the prices of cars, and you see the defaults that are on these vehicles, that people can't make the payments because the payments are out of sight.
I mean, what the hell? What the hell? I have two cars, okay? One of them's new. The other one I bought in 2010. So I've got, one of my cars is 15 years old. It's a 2011, but you buy your, okay. So I could go out and buy a brand new car, a luxury car. I make enough money, but I'm financially responsible. I don't mind driving. I got one new car, and I got one car that's 15, almost 16 years old. It's called responsibility.
Through your lens, you're looking at everything through your lens. Thank God you've been successful.
But Richie, how often do you know that each month do you know how many live streams and shows I do on YouTube on average a month? I do about 120. About 120 shows a month. I could get by doing I could squeak by doing just the 20 that are the Monday through Friday radio show. But I did an hour-long show on my way into work today. I come on 45 minutes early every day. You see me Saturday. You see me Sunday, day and night. You know, yeah, well, but what's the driving force? Exactly. I don't sit around and yes.
But how about the fact that young couples can't buy homes because the prices of houses are way out of proportion? and that's it. And they're blaming Trump for it, which is not right. I'm not. Hey, listen, during COVID under Biden, everything fell apart.
No, they're not. They're not expensive everywhere. You know, it depends on where you want to live. You live where you can afford to buy if you want to buy. But millennials aren't so much into. I was talking to Ian about this from Cruise and Travel Depot, and he'll verify this. You know, he was telling me how the travel industry has changed. With millennials aren't into buying houses like you and I. They're into having life experiences, never growing up. You know what I mean? They call it adulting. You know, showing. You know, but you buy a house where you can afford to buy a house. If you can't afford to buy a house where you live, you move somewhere where you can.
Yeah, but New York, you can't even compare about New York. But what I'm going to say is this, and you can take it for what it's worth. The Democrats, and these were 3 Democratic states or whatever, they are running against President Trump's economy. And they are pushing these young people who have been brainwashed in college, especially the girls, the young ladies. They're all saying, that they're blaming Trump for everything, which is totally wrong. I'm telling you, the perception out there is that the economy is not doing great. Even for the average person in the street, not the person who's in the stock market.
I disagree with you. I don't own one stock.
Yeah, I know, you don't gamble.
I don't own any stocks. Not one. Not one.
That doesn't, and I know probably a year from now, everyone will have work here because he's bringing in all these factories and everything is coming back to the United States. But I'm talking about they ran an election against.
See, I just grew up in a time when you didn't sit around and blame the president for your thing, and you just went out and you worked extra hours or you got a job. You know, come on.
I'm not blaming him, and you know I'm not, because I love the guy. But I'm telling you that this is what the Democrats are doing to get these idiots to vote for.
Well, that guy that called me with the 3 jobs was not a MAGA guy. I just didn't want to get bogged down in that because I knew there were some other things I could pull out of him. I didn't want to get bogged down in that roundabout. He wasn't. Oh, he's made $50 billion. You know, that was not a MAGA guy. That was a liar.
Oh, an investment broker, but he's trying to say, well, I'm talking about...
An investment broker. Yeah, give me a break. An investment broker on the street. I gotta run. We just lost all the phone lines. Oh, no. Well, if you're on hold, stand by. All the phone lines just went dead, and we got all our call-ins in the next hour. Hopefully they'll reboot. Oh, boy. Okay, let me move my coffee. All right, why don't we... Let me go to break, and let's see if we can fix it during the break, all right? We'll be right back. What are you going to do, reboot?
We probably do connection issues because my connection to that went out too, so that's why I ran in quickly. Yeah, it looks like the connection just rebooted.
I'm online. I didn't lose my internet.
I don't know why when the phones go out, so does the team viewer stuff.
It's on a different server.
That's what I have to do. That should be okay.
Yeah, I'm online. Well, I've got... here they are, they're back.
Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. On Glades Road, an emergency vehicle still reportedly on the scene of an earlier Boulder crash. It's between Lux Road and St. Andrews Boulevard. A crash, Pamela Park Road, Powerline Road still causing.
Hey, yep,
The roads call the traffic tip line, pound 250 Keyboard, West Palm traffic. I'm on Mercy. That's your traffic, brought to you by PBKC. Live in the paddock this Saturday, November 8th.
Are you there?
It's the National Toby Keith Tribute Show. Get ready for all the hits, all the energy, and all the red, white, and blue fun of a real Toby concert. Your ticket includes a mouth-watering 3-course barbecue dinner. Now that's a show and a meal worth singing about. And the party.
Yeah, I lost you there. You there?
14th, it's Start Me Up, the ultimate Rolling Stones tribute. Plus,
What? What's the problem? You sound fine.
Just $25 gets you an all-you-can-eat buffet and a draft beer.
No, the internet just went out. That's why. So when you were listening to this, you were listening on iHeartRadio. Yeah, the internet went down for a minute. Yeah, the internet went down for just a minute. It's back. Okay, hold on. Yeah, the internet feed went, the internet stream went down at the same time, but I didn't lose the internet here on my laptop. Different server. I'm on the Wi-Fi. I'm on the Wi-Fi. Oh my goodness.
No charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
This is Steve Kane. The time for open enrollment is here. And as if Medicare wasn't confusing enough last year, there are major changes to be made this year. Some major carriers are pulling out of Medicare altogether. Do what we do in the Kane household. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors. She'll review your Medicare plan for free. Debbie's schedule is filling up fast, but if you mention my name, Steve Kane, she'll put you right to the front of the line. Call Debbie right now at 954-753-8080. That's 954 area code 753-8080. Be sure to mention that Steve Kane sent you.
Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at MyPillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Hey, Steve. I'm doing all right. Oh, my goodness. Have you been? Oh, it's great. You know, that's true. Did you have somewhere you want to go, or you want to talk to some of the callers? All right, we'll go back to the calls. Today's not open phones, but tomorrow is. Friday's open phones, but the phones have been going. We've had some interesting callers today. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Dave. They're all liars. They're all. As soon as they start with that, I voted for Trump. You know they're full of it. They think they're calling. Who do they think they're calling? Joyce Kaufman? I mean, do you think they'll get away with that? Let me tell you about Jay Jones. Forgetting about the fact that he was wishing MAGA people dead, he kicked a dog at a polling location, and you know, could you imagine if a Republican kicked a dog, and that'd be it. Oh, look at him, he kicked the dog. Oh, and then Mamdani at his party, what a cute guy, he kicked the dog. Mamdani at his victory party had Hassan Piker, who had a shock collar electrocuting his dog, live on a stream. The vice president was talking about it the other day. Hassan Piker, look it up. You know, I mean, they got animal abusers that they're supporting now. Yes. Well, let me, Steve. Let me tell you. When I opened up at 6 today, this is what I was talking. And this fits to what you're talking about, caller. I was very frustrated listening to the analysis of Zohan yesterday by everyone, they're giving analysis of him like he's a Democrat socialist, or a communist. He's none of those things. He's a radical revolutionary whose mission is to bring about the downfall of the United States through the Islamification of New York City and spreading it and assimilate the rest of the country into the caliphate, right? And that's what it is. And to sit around and debate these issues, and the reason he doesn't care that he's not going to be able to deliver all this free crap is because they plan on repopulating New York City with Muslims that'll vote for him next time just because he's Muslim. That's it. Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, a lot of white women, white liberal women are the worst. You know, there was a great movie in the 80s called Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell. Are you familiar with this movie? Okay, are you, Steve? Okay. They had Ronald Reagan's son playing a racist, throwing out every racial slur you've ever heard in that movie. And what an idiot. But Hollywood, that's what Hollywood's always been. But there was a character, a liberal white girl in that movie. And every time you saw her, she was with another man who was a different ethnicity. Right? She was with C. Thomas Howell when she thought he was black. She was with a Native American Indian. You know what I mean? Liberal white women, they believe that they are toxic, and they think that they owe a debt. Sometimes it's with their bodies, with non-white people. They just, it's a bizarre thing. Liberal white women, but they never would have. Well, I don't say this to sound sexist or controversial. It's just a fact. I mean, when they gave women the vote in 1920, that was how all this crap started. Yeah, that's the beginning of it. That's right. Have you seen this controversy, Steve? Have you seen this on TV? You too, called the black lesbian woman at the Gold's Gym that got tossed out of the gym because of the man in her dressing room. Oh my goodness, this woman, she's a black lesbian. And she goes to Gold's Gym, and she's ripped. I mean, she's all muscles and, black lesbian. She says she's a black lesbian. She's in her locker room. A transgendered man comes in, and she had a breakdown, and she made a video about it and put it online. It went viral. It was on Fox. I can't play it because she drops too many F words. If I put in the bleeps, it's just a cut. It's just like the thing. But she was sexually abused at some point in her life, and she dealt with trauma, and the gym kicked her out, revoked her membership. They showed the man, the transgendered person in the locker room. It's a guy that looks like you, me, or Steve, but he's got earrings on and a little blush. He's not transgender. He's a peeping Tom. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Yeah. Well, the New York Post is stealing my material because remember yesterday I said let Zohan be Zohan. That's what mine was better, but that's what they said too. They're saying the same thing. Well, I don't know about fun. You're on the air. I guess you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. Mm. Okay. All right. Appreciate the call. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I can. A lot of whispering men today. Yeah, but do you have anything to say? $3,000. When was that? When could you buy a house for $3,000? Look at, yeah, what, in 1926? Oh my goodness. $3,000. That's even before your time, Steve, isn't it? $3,000 for a house. Oh my goodness. You know, my mother, she has a nice house in Fort Lauderdale. She bought it like 100 years ago. $57,000 she paid for it. And my mom might be close to a millionaire by now. I don't know, because the property values go up. I mean, $3,000. That's right. That's right. You probably shouldn't, but let's take a call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yep, speak up. You're on the air. Okay. All right. One more. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. On the radio? Well, we lost our internet a little while ago, so we're recalibrating things. All right, Richie, I appreciate it. Okay, Richie's upset with me because of something, so he's, All right, listen, if you're on hold, hang in there. I am going to, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, okay? All right, I'm going to put you and everybody on hold. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
Hello, this is Mike from Tire. I've been in business for 30 years at the same location, offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954.
Hey, George, it's Brian. Good. I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to be back in about a minute, and then I'm going to go right to you. Hold on.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta, and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles, tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on a limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
All right, we're back. You back with us, Steve? Okay, well, we're going to check in. This is actually the first time we've done this. We're going to check in today with George Colony, our new sponsor here on the program, our real estate guy. George Colony, good morning. I'm doing well. You know, obviously you're in real estate, and we talk about real estate a lot. Real estate's been the topic of the show today, believe it or not, with some of the callers. So I thought I wanted to run a couple things by you that are in the news today that some of our callers have brought up about real estate. Okay, so George has no idea where we're going, Steve. So maybe I don't either. I don't know. We'll find out. But you know, I was talking earlier. By the way, we met George Colony. I was introduced to you by Tom Laporta, who's been with us for many, many years here on the program. And when I first met you, the first thing I said is, I know your name. And then I realized I've been seeing your name all over Fort Lauderdale my whole life, growing up here, on signs all over town. So, you know, you've been in real estate a long, long time. And, you know, in this economy, this great Trump economy that we're in, which is just booming on so many factors, sometimes people complain that it's not a good time to buy real estate, or maybe they can't find a home that they can afford. You know, what do you say to people like that? Is it a good time to buy, a good time to sell, but I'm having a hard time finding a home to buy that I can afford?
Well, yes, I think it's a good time to buy, really for me, all the time, or sell. I think that you just have to search a little harder to find what you want. It's out there. There's a lot of product out there right now, but there are areas that are growing so fast, like in Palm Beach and Miami, that Fort Lauderdale is starting to do the same thing. A lot of people come to you down from the Northeast, and I'm having to move happening. It's real estate great again here, so.
Yeah. To me, it seems like it's a lot like cars, right? In this aspect, you know, if you go in and you got to buy a car today, right now, this afternoon, you're probably not going to get the best deal that you want, right? So yeah. So you know, so if you look in the right area, you're a little patient. You got the right person, which of course is you. You could find the right house, the right property for the right price that you can afford.
What I'm trying to do is be different. You know, I have 62 years of being in business, and not everything that I've learned in my life is going to help everybody, but a lot of what I've learned in my life is going to help most people. And so we do a lot of things with financing and advising people about how to put themselves in a position, even if they just want to rent a place. Sometimes they have to do little stuff for themselves to get in position to be able to rent some of these units here, especially if they come out of the north, or like Washington. We have a customer now that's paying a lot of money in taxes in Washington, but when he went to rent a place here, that was going against his debt-to-income rate. So we just had to prove that he's moving to Florida, where there's no state income tax. We talked about the Homestead Act with him, and now he's all set to go.
Yeah, you know, see, when I met with you and you started talking to me about buying, selling, you also help people that are renting, looking to rent, or maybe rent a property too. But you were talking about things in real estate transactions that I never even considered before, in ways that I don't even fully understand. But you've been doing this so long, and you have such an understanding of not just real estate, but how money works. And, you know, one of the things that I was talking about earlier in regards to you, George Colony, was this. You know, when somebody makes any type of property purchase, or even renting, but in particular buying, it's the biggest financial decision that a family will make. And it can be a multi-generational family decision too, right? You want to leave your home to your kids. And you depend on your real estate agent for that advice. But a lot of real estate agents really don't have a background in business, money, or maybe even real estate, right? They took a real estate course, and all of a sudden they're an agent, and you're making this massive financial decision with the advice of someone that has no expertise in business, money, or real estate, really.
Real estate is more about the economics of this type of environment. And how do you buy something? How do you get the best interest rate? I do a lot of seller financing, where the person's selling their home. They are moving out of the state and they'd like to sell it, but they will finance the buyer for a few years, so they give them a very low interest rate. They give them some benefits in buying it, and we're able to move them out. It especially comes true when you have a buyer, but then you have a seller. Now the seller's got to go find a place, and the buyer wants to move in pretty quick. So a lot of it is strategy. A lot of it is about, as I say, the economics of it. And I think that's really where I can help people. If people come into my office and they from every aspect of humanity, and they come in, and within 15 minutes, one of the things I hear the most is, I never even thought of that. I've never even heard of what.
That's right.
And that comes from starting a company with my wife probably in the 1980s with no money and building it and selling it for an ungodly amount of money. And how we did it. And I learned there how to do the things that I do today. I think every day what you learn, you become a product of what you've done in your life and who you've met in your life. I always try to mark it up. I try to get to know people that are better than I am, smarter than I am, so I can learn more from them. And in real estate here, I think the main thing that sets me apart is this experience that I've had. I've led the world in some of the major companies in real estate, and how I did it and what I learned during that time can be beneficial.
And I just in close, I give you an example of in the audience of what I'm talking about. What you just talked about with owner financing of a home, I've heard of people doing that in business, like they're selling a business, which by the way you also help people with. But when people sell a business, I've heard of the business owner financing. I've never, until you told me about this, I never heard of a homeowner self-financing for the buyer. And these are the kind of things I'm talking about, where with George Colony, you're getting a whole, like really almost like a financial advisor when it comes to the buying or selling of real estate. Now this number, we met George Colony through Tom Laporta. So like Tom Laporta, he gives out his cell phone number. You can call or text George Colony directly, 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, George Colony, we'll talk soon. All right, take care, take care. See, I told you, Steve, he thinks about the outside the box there, right? I mean, that's some outside the box stuff. Well, you're telling me you're thinking about buying a new house, which shocked me.
I'm going to be in touch with, as a matter of fact, because I've got several things with. He's just the man to advise.
Yeah.
The time seems right.
Yeah, exactly. But your tomb may be more valuable than even most people's houses. You know, you could, your final resting place. Oh my goodness.
We're going to be coming here in droves.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You know, so let me get back to this thing in New York and how it relates, Steve, okay? Because this is, you know, I don't know if you would, obviously from a programming point of view for what we do, Mom Donnie is going to be the gift that keeps on giving because it's going to be a disaster up there. But there's other things we could talk about. We don't need that. We don't need show prep from Mom Donnie. People will really be suffering. But I view him as a radical revolutionary who plans on bringing down the United States and our collapse. I don't view him as a democratic socialist or a communist. And if we don't deal with him that way, we're gonna be in trouble. I mean, we really got to get our act together.
The thing I like about that post headline, as usual, captures the subtext of all these things. Basically, he's going to hang himself. Because he's ill-equipped to do the job that he's been elected to.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, you got Donald Trump working on our side, and that's, of course, a total mismatch. So I think this thing is doomed for him.
Yeah.
And it's only a question of time.
Well, you know, just to take it in a different, what you're saying true. Okay, like I remember I spent a lot of time trying to get on the air at radio stations. And yeah, I was begging people all over town to put me on the air. And then when I remember the first time I did a talk show like this, it was a 3-hour show at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I had really been trying this to get on the air for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden I get this 3-hour time slot to do a 3-hour show. And when the mic went on, I didn't know what to do. Right. I mean, it's like, oh God. What am I gonna? Mom Donnie's got a little bit of that, right? Oh, you got a guy who's never done anything in his life, never done a thing in his life. You know, somebody like I use Governor Cuomo as an example. His dad was governor of New York and was a big deal, but he also was in President Clinton's cabinet. Yeah, you know what I mean. So he had some experience by the time he got there. He had some knowledge from the family business and from his own experience working around President Clinton. Mamdani has never even had a job, right? He, they say he's in the state legislature. He has missed over 80% of his votes. So,
He's not who he pretends to be.
correct.
And that always leads you to trouble.
So, and if you, but we've already seen a little bit. He did this big announcement yesterday with his transition team, right? The socialist women. And what he did, he knows how to do propaganda. He doesn't know how to govern, but he knows how to do propaganda. And they did something that's so clever, and everybody's missing this, except of course me, which I'm going to point out. He's asking for donations from New Yorkers for the transition team. He has plenty of money. He's got all that Muslim money. He's got all that Democratic Socialist of America money. He's got all that Soros money. He's asking people for donations so they'll feel a part of it. So they'll feel a part of the transition. It's a propaganda technique. He doesn't need anyone. He doesn't need grandma's $50, right? For the transition team. It's to, he's fighting the man. So he wants you around him to help him fight the man and take over.
Bottom line is, he's in over his head.
Yes.
That's going to become very obvious very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one that sniffs out the phony spam.
Yeah, right at 8 o'clock. That was crazy.
And it just happened again.
I can reschedule if you need to.
No, you're here.
Okay, cool.
Actually.
Get out.
I roll with the punches.
Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service
I've
and
been taking orders for 30 or 40 years from my wife, so yeah. I can take it from anybody else.
That's right.
You just went through points in this.
The honeydew list.
It used to be like this with my wife. Argue about everything. Now, yes, dear, whatever you want.
Yep.
They break you, man.
The key to a long-lasting marriage is admit you're wrong even when you're not. That's what I tell people.
You're always wrong.
It pisses my wife off when I say that sometimes, but it's true.
I can remember on my hand how many times she apologized. I think it's one time, Dad. Maybe it's one
Don't
time.
get you in trouble, we're on YouTube.
No, she doesn't listen to
Traffic brought to you by PBKC.
That's true.
Double up the green this November in the poker room at PBKC.
How's everything else,
Don't miss
Good.
exciting daily tournaments.
I'm surprised
and
you're
this
not
week's
Mondani.
$100,000 guaranteed monster
Sad.
multi-flight event running November 6th
I heard somebody
to the
say,
9th.
I was
High
watching
hands hit
somebody
every
say,
15 minutes,
if
every
we
day
can-
from 9 a.m. to
New York
midnight,
can
plus
get
the
through to
$100,000
Blasio
progressive
and Eric
weekends,
Adams,
$15,000
they'll
cash
get through
giveaway,
this.
Oh.
mega bad beat jackpots, and
Think about de
thrilling
Blasio,
table
I bet
games.
He was a disaster, and he was such a crook. Remember, his wife was involved in some $1 billion scam.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Discover
And there's so many
of luxury
little
senior living
nuances to
at
this
the
stuff that you
Carlisle
don't hear
Palm
about.
Beach.
Because
The
I
only
kind of
senior
block
living
stuff out.
community in Palm Beach
You know?
with ocean views.
Yeah, he was another one who honeymooned in Moscow or something, de Blasio.
Oh, really?
Or was it one of them? Bernie Sanders and de Blasio. One honeymooned in Cuba, one honeymooned in Moscow. I can't remember which one.
Where would you go?
Not Moscow. Back then,
It used to be Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. My wife and I eloped. So we went to Disney World and eloped. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper. I'd rather have the money for a down payment on a house instead of a wedding and reception.
My daughter's asking, my youngest Dana, who you met, she's getting married in a year or so.
Yeah.
She said, maybe I should just, buy a house with her. I said, hey.
That's right.
I said, that's fine.
That's the
So
we
we'll
can have the
a little
party there.
party,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what we did. We had a party at my in-laws' house, and it was much nicer. And we had a condo.
Yeah, hey, listen.
We got a condo.
Smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I bought a condo, my first condo was 23. I bought it for $39,900.
Oh wow.
And I sold it for $89,900.
Wow. That's good.
And then I bought a house for $150,000.
Ours was 50-something thousand. We sold it for 112.
There you go.
It's amazing.
You remember those wins, don't
All right, hold on. All right, and Jupiter Joe Thomas in studio. How you doing, Joe?
Great.
I was talking to this guy. This guy called me from New York. He has 3 jobs. He works at the Statue of Liberty. I forgot what one. I don't think we got to the third one, but his first job was investment banker, and he was trying to tell me that the economy is doing poorly.
Yeah.
And a couple of things. Well, first of all, that's obviously not true. You're a financial advisor, and the markets are booming.
Market's doing very good. They're a little volatile for some people, but if you're just buying and holding, like 401ks, just stay the course right now. Especially with Trump got the wheel.
Yeah. Well, to me, with annuities, you don't care what the market's doing, right?
No.
Because your money's safe.
Yeah, and I've got an offer for people. Everybody loves the bonuses. And we had a 10% bonus. That went by the wayside. Now I have another company that's got a 15% bonus.
Oh, my goodness.
What it does, up front is it gives you a 15% bonus, and then you're in the market, but you can't lose any money with the annuity because it's an indexed annuity. So for anybody who says the market's not going to do well, I have an 80-something-year-old guy come in my office. He said, look, I think Trump's going to be great for the economy. I want to be in the market, but I don't want to lose any money. I said, go with an index annuity.
Okay, what's an index annuity? What's that mean?
Index annuities, S&P 500 is an index, the NASDAQ is an index. You're not buying individual stocks, you're buying the overall market.
Oh my goodness.
So when that index goes up, your money goes up. But however, when the market goes down, that index goes back down, you stay the same. You don't lose a dime.
Okay, so you can only make money. You can't lose your nest egg that you put in there.
It's a contractual obligation that the insurance company gives you that you can't lose money.
It's a sure bet every time.
And they're going to give you 15% up front. So on 100 grand, you're making $15,000 up front. Now
Before you leave your office.
Before you leave my office. And then you get the upside potential of the market.
So in the stock market, to make 15% on your money in the stock market, and if everything went perfect, which it never does, how long would that take?
It might take 2 or 3 years.
If everything went perfect.
Right, because there's ups and downs, and you're going to average 7 or 8%. And I tell people all the time, yes, look, I had a lady call me, she was 80-something years old. Hey, Joe, I did 23% in the market.
Oh, my goodness.
Annuity, I sold her. But you know what? That's a rarity. I said, look, you're going to average 7 or 8% over a 10-year stretch, just like the market, but without risk.
You know, I don't want to put you on a spot about how many different types of annuities, but there's different types, right? You've got this one here you're talking about, the index annuity, which is tied to S&P, NASDAQ, right? And what are some of the other types of annuity?
Fixed annuity where it's locked in at a fixed rate of like 5.5% for 5 years.
And is that it? Are there any other types?
And then there's also income annuities where you have an income guarantee for the rest of your life. And there's a lot of other variations, you know, but for the most part, most people are either indexed or they're fixed.
So, because I always thought there was one type of thing, you got in it, you're in an annuity, that's it, but there's different types of things for people, and I bet you, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I bet you sometimes people get multiple annuities and they get different kinds. They diversify.
Husband and wife will actually say, I like that one, and the husband will say, I like the index, and she'll say, I like the income, and we'll do a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we'll do 33, you know, whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just to make sure that your money's protected. And again, this isn't for all your eggs. You know, keep some of the money in the market. Maybe you carve out some of your money that's sitting in the bank doing nothing. And get 15% on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I mean, if you can make 15% on your money before you get back in your car at the office,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a very big deal. And I don't care how little or how much you're putting in an annuity. Whatever you're putting in is what you got, and 50% on whatever you got sounds pretty good to me.
I tell people just keep it safe. You know?
Exactly.
That's 50% of the battle, let's be honest.
Well, listen, take advantage of the no-charge consultation with Joe Thomas, which you can take advantage of on the phone, in person in his office, or you do Zoom?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
The number is 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com. And if you go by Joe's office, you get one of these cool pins. The Jupiter Joe pins that are really cool. All right, Joe, take care.
Good.
All right, let's go back to the phones. All right, Steve, everything is full speed ahead here. You want to take some more calls? All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. I can.
Hey, Brian, my name is Deontay. I just wanted to, nice to talk to you. I just wanted to discuss a little bit about Moon County. It seems like a lot of Republicans really hate this stuff.
Of course we do.
Gotcha. So, like...
Don't you?
I just want to boil some... no, I do not. Sorry about that. So, I just want to bring up a point of comparison, right? Because I have to compare when you hate somebody like Mondani and then you love somebody like Trump, right? Just on a boil factor. You have one guy who says, I would like to make buses free, right? That's one of the biggest things Republicans are harping about, at least I see right now. One guy says, I would like to make buses free. Another guy says, hey, I would like to use your taxpayer money to fund my personal court case. I don't understand, like, what are we looking at where one guy is a demon and the guy who's using your money to fund his personal emotional distress court case is some type of thing?
I don't know what you're talking about with the court case. Do you, Steve?
I'm lost. So do you not know that he's using $230 million of taxpayer money to sue the Department of Justice?
Oh, you mean the lawfare people that went after him and he had to pay untold amounts of legal fees because of the lawfare by the Biden regime? That's different. He's owed that money. That's he's trying to get his money back.
So if you could just elaborate for me.
Let me ask you, where are you from originally?
Massachusetts.
Okay, are you in New York now?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, I understand. Okay, I thought you might have been calling from New York, because, you know, so I understand why you don't mind this. You're not going to be suffering in New York. The thing about, okay, what Donald Trump's going after, you are aware that the Never Trumpers in the Biden regime had a lawfare campaign against the president, right? Really? All those times they arrested him and everything? You're not aware of any of that? Yeah.
Almost anything, but almost every court case is because he brought up some type of.
What the hell are you talking about, do you? You just rattling on.
Yeah. And the thing, yeah, so what happens is, a lot of times when you go after someone legally, especially when it's unjust, like they were going after President Trump, they have to pay back your attorney fees. As an example, you know, Stormy Daniels had to pay some of Trump's legal fees in her frivolous cases against him. That's what happens.
I mean,
well, you're just not.
So why are you calling in here with a pretended expertise?
Exactly.
What you're telling us, you obviously don't know. You don't even know who Stormy Daniels is.
Exactly.
Story is.
I mean, I do know who Stormy Daniels is. I'm sure you guys know.
Well, tell us what you know. Tell us what you know, because so far I'm unimpressed.
So what I'm hearing is that you guys are saying many court cases have been brought up against Trump, and so they have to pay back his legal fees.
Correct.
The cases are fraudulent.
Correct.
So this is compared to the.
You know what
Trump has brought up to.
You know what got Trump elected? You. People like you.
So many court cases, you can never compare the amount of court cases he's lost compared to the ones that have been lost in his favor.
All right, okay. Thank you for.
Yeah. I mean, how can you talk to somebody like that? Yeah. Yeah. And let me tell you, that accent, that's not from Massachusetts. That I was hearing.
I hesitate to ask, but I'll buy it.
I don't know. Probably not of this country. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So he's got some kind of bond with Zohan. He's passing. He's passing.
Elected.
And this. Yeah.
How they were taking advantage of him. Every time the case was filed against Trump, his numbers went up.
And this, Steve, and this thing, oh, you're against free buses. I know people are saying this all the time. There's no such thing as free. The people that work and pay taxes are the ones who pay for these things. Nothing is free. Those buses, no, the buses cost a lot of money. They run on gas. Even if they're not on gas, they have to be maintained. You got to pay the drivers. How do you do that? You know, and the federal government can run deficits because they have the U.S. Treasury. New York City does not have money presses or a treasury where they make money, right? So he's got to get the money from somewhere. There's no money for that, and it's going to become quite obvious quite soon. You know, November is Men's Health Awareness Month, and Life Imaging FLA, well, of course, they're here to help like they help me. You know, Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with just a few minimum requirements, and that scan is valued at $699. While you're there, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening. I had that. I had the heart screening and the full body screening, and find out if you got cancer. I got no cancer, no blockage, no plaque. But, you know, Steve, while a lot of people, they get these scans and they find, like me, they're healthy. There's a lot of people that find out that they have something going on, whether it's blockage. You know, they had a lady recently, over 80% blockage she found. She had no idea. They had no idea. Sometimes they find things, they find the cancers too. You know, Life Imaging FLA, they're all about proactive healthcare. And proactive healthcare is what the scans are all about. They're saving lives through early detection every day. You know, over 4.75 million cancer deaths have been prevented through early detection and screening. So take control of your health. Go to Life Imaging FLA. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. Pick up your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Do we have any recorded spots here? All right, we're going to go right to the gold report, Steve. Oh, this is great. From the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca, we have William Youngerman with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Very good, very strong on the precious metals. We've got gold yesterday gaining $47.10 after trading in a range of $39.29 on the low, all the way up to $39.91. Still finding good support in the high third, near 4,000 number, and closing out the day at $3,978.20, which was up $47.10. Silver gained 86 cents yesterday at $47.94. Platinum was up $24 at $1,559, and palladium was up $27 at $1,401 on the close. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $39.63 all the way up to $4,021. And yes, we are back over $4,000 for gold right now at $4,014. That's up $35.80 from yesterday. Silver up 61 cents at $48.55 the ounce. Platinum unchanged at $1,559. And palladium down $16 at $13.85. So the markets are doing very well, giving us some time to digest the major gains that we had this year and to build some really strong support around that $4,000 number. And so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, you know, with William Youngerman, you can do your transactions over the phone and through the mail. William, when people who can't make it into your shop, whether they're, you know, in another state, another country, or another part of town, how does it work doing the transactions over the phone and through the mail?
Yeah, usually they just call us, lock in the price for whatever metals they want to buy, wire the funds, and we ship them fully insured to wherever they...
There you go. So William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call. Toll free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Or stop in. He's located in Boca Raton, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the first floor of the Bank of America building on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can't miss it. When you go into the Bank of America building, William Youngerman's shop is directly across from the bank lobby. All right, William Youngerman will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. Wow, that's amazing, Steve. That's absolutely crazy. You know, gold is pretty almost 10 times what it was when we first met William Youngerman. No, don't tell that again. Oh, before we go. No, well, you know, whatever, Steve. You know, whatever. I want to just quickly, before we go back to the phones, great offer from Sloman's Home Security. They're offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. You're locked in at that price for 5 years. All you have to do is call 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050. Your Sloman's Home Security System includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access. So you can check in anytime from anywhere like I do on our cruises. So give them a call. Take advantage of this free offer. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Oh, Greg 2. How you doing?
Hey, Greg, what's up?
Hey, Steve, we haven't spoken.
Speak up, Greg. Speak up.
Congratulations on your Dodgers victory.
Oh, yes.
That, you know, I watched that game with my daughter, Steve, on Saturday. I think I might get interested in baseball next season. That was amazing. Yeah. The complete opposite of Greg 2's calls. Interesting, riveting, hanging on every moment.
All right, now listen to me, Brian. By the way, I like to piggyback off of Richie's call, which of course you had to be your bully and attack him for a divorce that took how many years ago? Because you're the moral high ground and you can attack Richie because he's been divorced.
I didn't attack Richie, but I pointed out did you hear that caller, Steve, with the baby mama? Oh, I'll tell you about it later. It was a classic call. Richie called in for his defense, and he didn't even realize what he was doing, but he related to the guy.
Attack that guy too. That's the bully. That's the bully.
I didn't attack the guy. I pulled something out of him. He was complaining. I pulled something out of him that he didn't know he was going to admit.
Do you think baby mama is a complimentary term?
It can be.
Can be. Is it yes or no, Brian? Can you ever answer a question?
My wife is a baby mama. Steve's got a couple baby mamas, right? Your wife and your ex-wife, Steve.
Oh, good.
Now he's bringing up Steve's ex-wife too. I love it because you attack everyone.
It's not. Everybody knows Steve's been married 3 times. Like Trump. You know what you do? This is you know what a little pest you are. You know what you're trying to do, Greg. You know what you're trying to do, Greg. You're so pathetically sad. What you do. You sound like a hysterical woman. What you're doing is pretty weak. You brought up my sexism. You're trying to bring a divide between me and Richie and me and Steve. You're trying to divide people to feel good about yourself.
And by the way, your answer to everyone's question is, get another job if you can't afford the lifestyle. Guess what? There's some people that have kids that can't work 2 jobs. Your thing is, I work 7 years a week, you get another job. What is the thing?
Well, why do you think I only have 1 child and not 7 like Steve?
Why?
Because I can afford 1 child and have a great life.
You could afford 2.
How is it Trump's fault? I could, but it wouldn't be as great. How is it Trump's fault that this guy that called me lives in a different home than the mother of his child and his children, and he's got to pay for 2 households? How's that Trump's fault?
Listen, Donald.
People make choices.
David, can I finish a sentence? You asked me a question, and you don't even let me finish. That's your modus operandi with me. You let people go on ad nauseam. Donald Trump promised on multiple occasions, I'm talking probably a dozen or more, saying he was going to lower the cost of groceries. Period. You rely on his behalf. Guess what? They haven't been lowered.
No, excuse me. He said on interviews prior to the election, before the election, he said it is hard to bring prices down once they're up, but he's going to stop the inflation. No, I can't remember who the interview was. It was like it was Bartiromo or Martha McCallum, somebody like that. He said it's hard to bring the prices down once they're up. I'll do my best, but we're going to stop the inflation.
What is his best effort?
Inflation is almost stopped. Inflation is very low. You can't. Well, maybe you can tell. I'm going to see somebody from the Trump family today. I'm not going to tell you who, but I'm going to be meeting with somebody from the Trump family today, and I'll pass along your advice to them. I'm serious. I'm going to see one of Trump's children today, and I will pass along your advice. Can you tell me? Well, I want to make sure. I want you to give me the advice. How can Trump make Publix lower their grocery prices? I'll tell Trump's children today.
Okay, I'll give you a suggestion. You can pass it to the.
No. How can he make Publix lower their prices? How can he make Publix lower their prices?
Let me give you a suggestion. Okay, you can pass it along to this unknown Trump family member. Maybe it's a cousin.
I'll tell you tomorrow. No, it's one of his children.
How about all these meetings he has with tech companies, AI companies? How about meet with the grocery store companies and see what we could do to lower prices? Maybe give them some tax.
No. How can tax breaks? How can he make Publix lower their prices? You know, if you want lower grocery prices, stop going to Publix. Go to Walmart or Aldi. At Walmart? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? When's the last time you've been in a Walmart?
A couple weeks.
Well, yeah. What were you doing in Walmart?
Buying toilet paper, if you must know.
Okay, so you don't know.
Since you asked, well, full disclosure. Hey, I appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. I don't think that's good advice to pass on to one of the Trumps today. Oh, my goodness. It's not the president. It's not the president. It's not the president. I'll tell you after the show. I'll tell you after the show. I'll call you. Yeah, I was, oh, okay, that's what I heard. I heard you on delay. Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Where am I hearing, hold on one second for a second. Mike, I'm hearing the show on delay somewhere. Okay, maybe you shut the door of the studio. Maybe that'll help. Somebody's playing this. Okay, go ahead, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I want to talk about Trump-looking Robert Morris and why you don't talk about him for child.
I don't know who that is.
Trump.
Oh, he's a former Trump guy. Okay, I'm not going to talk about people with such things that I've never heard of before. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? We've had a run of great callers, Steve. Haven't we? Oh, my goodness. Are you hearing this on delay? Okay. Well, you're not the only one. I'm hearing weird stuff too, but but we'll keep on trucking. That's okay. Before we go, I want to remind people, what is today? It is November 6th. We are in holiday season, guys. We are in holiday season. And, this is the time of year you see people you see once a year, maybe only every 5, 10, or even 20 years. You want to look great. You want to call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. There's still time before Thanksgiving. I lost 25 pounds in the first 3 weeks with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I've lost over 35 pounds total. And I could lose more if I wanted, but I like how I look and I like how I feel. And this is what I weighed when I married my wife 29 years ago. So I think I'm at my ideal weight. And I look and feel great. And I'm going to tell you, with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's none of those things with shots or pills. You see those people on television that are celebrities that are doing those shots and pills, they don't look well. You want to look natural, like I do, and great. And you want to feel great, too. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. Remember, they can help you no matter wherever you're located in the United States. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. Okay, we got the delay problem fixed, Steve. Well, sometimes we got to let everybody know we're live, right? If things never had any bumps in them, people would think they're really not live. Well, we're almost out of time for today, but I just, I wanted to sum up with a couple of things. And then, tomorrow is Open Phones, Open MAGA Mike Friday. On tomorrow's show, you can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. On Fridays, the show prep is up to you, all right? I wanted to mention a couple of things before we go. This Mom Donnie, who's completely blown his cover. I don't want to spend every day talking about Mom Donnie, but but watching, we're starting to see who he picks. The first people he picked around him were 4 or 5 socialist women who are avowed socialist. And I didn't have time to get to this today, but I will tomorrow. John Solomon, you ever see him on TV, Steve? John Solomon? He's with Just the News. Oh, he's great. He has he's on TV a lot. He's a very good reporter. We used to have him on the show years ago. He was with the, I think it was the Washington Times he was with. That conservative newspaper, the Washington Times? We used to have him on the show from time to time. He's very, very good. One of his reporters went to a meeting with Mondami's top advisors and wrote a whole story about it. And I didn't get a chance to get to it today. I'll share it with you guys tomorrow. And they're very open about what they do. One of their agenda is to divest anything the city does with Jews. I'm not kidding. Can you imagine? I don't know what all that means. But they want to divest anything that they're doing with Jews. I don't know if that's kind of like a modern day Nuremberg law where where Jews aren't going to be allowed to participate in anything public. But they're very, the thing about Mamdani, now that he's won, he and his people, they're being very open. And this was not a secret meeting that they went to. They let him into it knowingly. It was a Zoom meeting. Now that they've won, they're not keeping a secret what they're doing. They're very happy letting you know exactly what they're going to do. And I'll go through this article tomorrow, Steve. It is, I shouldn't have laughed because it's scary, you know? Yeah, if we have any Holocaust survivors left, because most of them sadly have passed away, it's been so long, this is, it's some of the most hardcore anti-Semitism that this world has seen since the 1930s. Yeah, it will. Yeah. Well, listen, we're out of time for today. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Remember, tomorrow is Open MAGA Mike Friday. Open phones. Till then, take care. See you then. All right, guys, listen. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I got to clear out of the way for the next show. I'll see you soon. Take care.